Hello, Cybies. I'm an idiot. I went to hit start recording and I accidentally hit, end broadcast. So, I will probably hide that old one. Damn it, now I have to go over everything again anyway. So we saw the funny things from, Kaiser and... So to speed run what I just went over before I accidentally ended the broadcast. I was trying to record. Go buy your Olivia keychain, because you should. From, Kaiser and... Oh. So to speed... Oh, damn it, I have my thing open. I'll do your dub again, Kaiser. How's that? Thank you for the super chats and the gifted on the first stream.
6969 sent a super chat. It was Kaiser's fault for that stream.
It was. Anything that goes wrong is Kaiser's fault, guys. Anything that goes wrong. So let me do this one again. I don't think I even did my Inko voice that well anyway, so... If a girl bites me, is that a sign? So I have that coworker, and once when we had a playful argument, she bit me. Next time we disagreed, she said, I'm gonna bite you. I said I don't mind. Since then, she is biting me in a playful manner. Is that a sign that she likes me? I have no clue. There we go. Yeah, classic side technical difficulties.
Dana_brain sent a super chat. Good stream, guys.
I know, GG. I'm gonna go private the other one, so people don't get confused.
Sent a super chat. Classic Sai and her technical difficulties.
Yes, I know. Technical difficulties, everyone. I hit the wrong goddamn button. I've done that once before. At least this time, the recording button is right under the end broadcast button, which is probably not the most intuitive thing. Alright, I'm just gonna private the other one, for now. Let me get, or just I'll unlist it. There we go. And, shit, now I need to, you mean you weren't able to unlist, oh, there it goes, okay. Now I need to, like, update my posts. Fucking hell. Alright, hang on a second. We're gonna have lots of really good professional streaming here, guys. Hang on, I just want to go adjust my Tumblr post, especially. You guys can listen to the music while I do that, and then I'll have to go, like, post the new one under Bisky or something. And actually, let me just put up another post. Alright, fix that. Okay, there we go. It seems like I have most of you back, which is good. At least there's no opening on this one, I guess. It starts right away. Imagine! Okay, I have updated everyone on the internet that they have to come to this new VOD. I have fixed everything, guys. So anyway, obviously we have to go over Dio's comic again, though. Or I'll have to give him the clip of me reading it from before. So Dio also drew me a comic today. Because everyone loves and respects me, obviously. So there we go. I'll read it again. Whatever, I'll read it again. I'm saying, yeah, and I was like, what the fuck is Jazzy Oliver's problem? Like, out of all the people, they choosed me. Hey, Sai, how's stream? People are crazy. Hee. Sai, you're gay! Lost that JPEG! Dio, for the third time, stop doing this! Can't ignore me now! Dio, that's what you sound like in my head. I hope you realize that. I also probably can't do your accent to save my life. Not that I can do many. Music? Come back on, music? Okay, it is on. It's just quiet. because it's dated. Okay, okay. We're all ready to boogie now, guys. I think. And yes, thank you for people sending gifted subs today. If you get hit by the gifted sub fairy, you can, go to Discord, connect your Discord and your YouTube account, and it should dump you in the Discord server. I just have to get back to where I was with, getting ready to start Hezu's video. Okay, okay, we're good now! We're good! Yes, Dio is a beloved chatter, yes. Boogie Pop, like Boogie Pop Phantom? I love that light novel series. Anyway.
From the beginning.
I can barely do my own accent, you're correct. Alright, this is an older video, you can tell that her Sona's older. This is like a 6-year-old video. But, we're just gonna watch it, because people want me to. And I don't know if we'll have time for her future video, but we could do that one too if we need to. I made him sound like him from Powerpuff Girls. Good. Alright, so we're just gonna assess what Hezu says about Steven Universe as I draw Steven Universe. And again, I really don't want to be mean to her. She just is kind of bad at this. Now, I didn't miss much. I was just about to start the video, and then I went to hit record, in case this is something I want to cut down. But I hit end broadcast by accident, because I'm an idiot. So, anyway, I'm a professional streamer, guys. I do this for a living. I'm so good at it. What did you send me now, Kaiser? Stream needs to know. I left my wallet in El Segundo. You said check SCs? What do you mean? No, we're getting on with the video, Kaiser. It's enough. You've had enough attention today. Anyway, here we go. She might have music in her video, so maybe I need to...
Hello, everyone. Hezu here. Steven Universe, Cartoon Network's crown jewel.
Oh no, she sounds like a baby. Guys, am I bullying a baby? Am I bullying a baby? Okay, this video is too old to have voice boost. We're just gonna have to live with this.
Has now come to an end. I was here with it from the beginning, but Peridot was the character that really reeled me in. What can I say? She's my birthstone. Steven Universe became bigger than I ever could have imagined. It started out as a pretty pilot and turned into the amazing...
23 sent a super chat. Nice to watch someone who's not a grifter or monster.
Like, when I cover people expect me to be mean to them. I'm only mean to the people who fucking deserve it. Yeah, well, this is 6 years ago. Was she, like, 17 or something? Or was she putting on a voice? I don't know. But was Steven Universe that big when it was airing? I only got into it in, like, 2018. And I watched it all digitally. So, I wouldn't know. But, like, didn't they put it in, like, a fucking 6 a.m. time slot to, like, kill it? That's where the crying breakfast friends joke came from. You know? Oh, I gotta do an Ara as Dio now.
Underscore space frog sent a super chat. Ara attacks but as Dio.
Ara, mom, I'm going to put lost.jpg in your chat! That's what he sounds like.
Amazing show we all know today. The characters were diverse, the story took a little while, but it soon became a wonderful, consecutive story that really connected everything.
Yeah, people think I can't, like, stand criticism of Steven Universe or anything else I talk about. I am, like, the biggest critic of Season 1A.
Together. There was mystery, adventure, and style. The character development was processed over the course of entire arcs, taking twists and turns, and had some deep lore and interesting alien energy to it. The songs were addicting, the style was mesmerizing, the characters were so dimensional and intriguing to watch and grow, especially outside of what they considered to be their own limitations. Even seeing the humans develop in the show was pretty good. I dare say it's Cartoon Network's best show ever. But have you felt it lacking somewhere? That feeling, that void, as though you...
No, I'm saying, you sent a super chat, and it got cut off. Let me see if I can find it. I think you might have gotten cucked, Kaiser. I think you might have gotten cucked. I'm sorry, I don't see it in the I don't see it in the, log of super chats.
At NeoKaiser0 sent a super chat. I sent a SC and then Sai ended her stream to get more money from me.
See, he admits it. He's why the stream ended. It's his fault.
You've forgotten something important. As though the show has done something wrong. Believe it or not, they have.
No,
Spoilers
really?
ahead, your one and only warning. If you don't wish to be spoiled, then this video isn't for you.
I'm really glad you stopped doing this voice. Holy shit.
So, the nagging question. Where did Steven Universe go wrong? The answers are quite simple. Exhibit A. The Homeworld Gems. Lapis, Peridot, and Jasper. Each...
You mean where everyone says the show picks up finally when these three arrive? They're the problem? Okay, let's see what she has to say about that.
Each of these characters were integral plot devices in the story that held high potential and expectations to become more. Unfortunately, they were forgotten about. Lapis Lazuli.
I mean, I agree with you on Lapis, but, I mean, Jasper was kind of always a minor villain. Like, I love Jasper, she's one of my favorite characters, but she served her purpose. Lapis, though, I agree. Lapis is written shittily, and they wasted so much potential with her, and they just didn't fucking do anything with her, but they still wanted her around for some reason. So it's like, I always say, Steven Universe's big problem to me is a lack of prioritization when it comes to what to focus on in the plot. You know, that's the most frustrating thing about it to me.
Lapis Lazuli was the first humanoid gem introduced outside of the crystal gems. Through her, we witness the great powers some gems hold. It's hinted the crystal gems aren't what they seem, that there's something...
Yeah, no shit, because we see her at her most powerful with a fucking cracked gem. When Amethyst had a cracked gem, she got all noodly and spoke backwards. When fucking Lapis has a cracked gem, she becomes an even bigger Mary Sue. Like, come on!
More sinister at hand. Steven realizes he can't fully trust the gems at this point in time, since they keep many secrets from him. Upon freeing Lapis, it sets in motion the homeworld invasion, which leads to mystery, discovery, and character development. Everything where the true story
where we find out they are for real aliens.
Leads to.
Yeah.
But where does her arc fail her? You see, when Lapis is saved from Jasper, she is confined in a barn, far from Steve.
When she's saved from Jasper. Yeah, when Lapis was the one in control of Malachite for the majority of the time, the two of them refused. And literally trapped Jasper inside the fusion. And liked tormenting her. But yeah, she was the one who needed rescuing.
It's home. Yeah, you heard me right. Confined. Isolated. Placed far away. Preventing
I mean, this is a common complaint that, you know, Lapis and Peridot just kind of get stuck in the barn until they need them for something, and they're really not as utilized as they could have been. They could have become part of the main group, you know, if this show was written to be more of an adventure show and less of a slice of life, which, again, I always feel like the Crooniverse had a bit of a lack of prioritization, and especially in the first early season, really didn't know what they wanted the show to be. But, like, this is, I mean, yeah, it's not just her, though. It's Peridot, too. It's just like, okay, guys, go back to your barn until we need to put you in a plot again. And I mean, part of it is you don't always use characters in a show because you gotta pay voice actors. There's also problems of availability, you know? So that's why sometimes characters are put to the side until there's a focus episode for them. Skrill has DM'd me to say she wants the Captain Clark sticker very badly. Thank you, Skrill. I don't know if she's watching right now, but... Yeah, I fucking hate everyone who's like, oh my god, Lapis was such a victim in Malachite. It's like, she's the one who caused Malachite. It was her fucking deliberate plan to fuse with Jasper to literally trap her and drag them both down to the ocean. When Malachite is being pulled into the ocean, you can literally see Jasper try to escape and Lapis pull her back in. But Lapis is the delicate, sad, pretty one, and Jasper is the big, strong, scary one, so she had to be the abuser. And Lapis possibly couldn't possibly be. You know, it's just like, I do think they kind of, like, confuse it by having Jasper have dialogue like, I've changed, but, like, for fuck's sake. Lapis, like, even admits, like, I miss her. I miss, like, having power over her and like, torturing her and holding her in a prison of our own mind. It's like, that's kind of fucked up, don't you think? Lapis would have been a good character to explore, someone who has been abused, going on to abuse others, but they kind of just fumbled it because, again, they, like, didn't put a lot of effort into writing Lapis and Peridot after Peridot's arc. And then they ran out of episodes because they got canceled for the gay wedding. So, yeah.
Interaction and reconciliation with her captors. Lapis has absolutely no interaction with the crystal gems. The only time she is seen even speaking to them is the filler baseball episode and Gem Harvest, where she made jokes of being locked up by them.
Why don't you put that core in a mirror for thousands of years and then see how it feels about the table?
Well, I mean... You can see Pearl and Amethyst over here cringing, and no one else is laughing, so it is a little awkward, and that is supposed to be the joke. But yeah, it is unfortunate that we never, like, really got any sort of interaction between Lapis and Pearl and the others. Like, you knew that was a gem in that mirror, why did you keep her in there? I mean, to me, my ideas are they didn't know she'd be an enemy. And perhaps even the crystal gems are so used to seeing gems just being used in objects that it didn't even occur to them. Like, this might be a person suffering. You know, that's kind of where I went with it in my AU, because people kept asking me, like, oh, well, what is Lapis's feelings on this and that? And I'm like, they didn't even explore that in the show, guys! So now here I am, having to try to fairly write a character I don't like very much in character. That's why I don't use Lapis very much.
@Forbidden sent a super chat. DBZRA may take 6 streams.
So, like, see how long I can go? Like, ara ara! Okay, that's about as far as I can go.
@NeoKaiser0 sent a super chat. Talk tax. Olivia. Oh,
right after I do that, of course! Get some water first. I'll pause in case you want to use the audio, Kaiser. Buy my merch! Buy my merch! Buy my merch! She's a marketable keychain now.
@WeekFreak sent a super chat. Oh, we're starting strong on this one. Buckle up.
I know, and again, it's like, she's not malicious, but she's bad at
@Sauciness sent a super chat. Opal is best girl.
Opal does have a cool design. And I will say, a lot of people have that misconception about Lapis and Jasper. Like, oh, Lapis was the poor innocent victim, even though she was the one, like, perpetuating the abuse.
@SuperEasyWalker sent a super chat. Happy birthday tax for me and got off early from work.
Hey, thank you, thank you. I mean, when you think about it, too, the most fucked up part about it is Jasper doesn't even see what Lapis did to her as wrong. She's just impressed that Lapis could fight against her for that long and now respects her, because Jasper is fucked in the head and her entire self-worth comes from being powerful. I will say, I do like Lapis's voice actor, even though I don't like the character much. It's the writing around her that drives me crazy. Like, I like her design, I like the voice actor, you know, I don't have a problem otherwise, but it's just like, you guys just did nothing with this character and then stuck her in the finale because you wanted all the characters to be there. It's annoying to me. Especially when you wasted so many fucking episodes on Lars that you didn't have to, my other least favorite character.
And Lapis held extreme contempt for Peridot for catching her transmission and forcing her back to Earth. Not to mention, Jasper and Mal-
I mean, Peridot was following, like, Yellow Diamond's orders. I mean, Peridot is also just a cog in the machine here.
Malachite, the abusive relationship she just broke off. Meanwhile, Pearl and the other gems give her no apology or interaction the rest of the show. Lapis spends most of the show-
I mean, again, I would blame that on the writers instead of the actions of the characters, you know?
isolated at the barn with Peridot. Don't even get me started on the Crystal Gems 2 episode.
Lapis, you could be Amethyst.
Which one is she? I'm joking.
Lapis has never talked to Amethyst. How would she know how she acts? And why would she even want to mimic any...
I mean, the whole joke of that episode is Connie is running around with Lapis and Peridot being the Crystal Gems for a week, basically. And they're kind of like the Temu version. That it's a joke, Hezu.
Yeah, the Crystal Gems that imprisoned her like it's a joke.
You were, until you started to ask so many questions.
And see, they made Pumpkin Pearl. Perfect. And again, the episode's a shitpost, Hezu, and it's a children's show. It's funny for the children, Hezu, you know? That's the thing that's the thing I don't get with a lot of people critiquing Steven Universe. They seem to entirely forget that it's a show for, like, 8 and up. Like, guys. Obviously, they're primarily going to be thinking about how to entertain the children.
This episode makes no sense. Fight me, writers. On the moon base, after Lapis left, she sung about how the Earth seemed pretty, and how the crystal gems were colorful too. Basically saying they seemed like—
and how much her own shitty actions make her feel so sad, except she never apologizes for them. Why don't you have more of a problem with that?
Like interesting people. But this doesn't change the fact that they were a group that took her prisoner. People she's never actually interacted with on a personal—
No, they didn't. What happened was, Lapis was on Earth during the war. Like, she was probably just there to do terraforming and shit. It's unclear, but, like, she didn't know the war was going on, is the impression you get. She gets caught in the middle of it, gets mistaken for a crystal gem, and gets put in a mirror to be interrogated. And, of course, she couldn't tell anybody anything, because she didn't know what the fuck is going on. And then, as everyone was fleeing Earth before the diamonds, like, you know, nuked every gem there, Lapis's mirror got dropped and left behind. And then years and years and years, like hundreds of years later, like thousands of years later even, because Pearl is in her 80s outfit when she finds the mirror. That might just be the character design they were using, because that's like the oldest one before like colonial times. But it does appear that Pearl is in her 80s outfit. So Pearl supposedly found her mirror like maybe a few decades ago, you know? And just kept it as like, oh, this is a gem object, and didn't think much else about it. Which is something they could have explored more. Like, again, are gems just so used? Like, someone like Pearl, who even though she is one of the people who started the rebellion, is she so used to seeing gems just be put in objects that it just doesn't even click with her that, hey, this could be a person who needs rescuing. You know? I mean, that could be— That could have been an interesting thing to explore that they never fucking did. Again, I kind of explore it a little bit in my AU, though it's Spinel, obviously, who found the mirror, because I switched Spinel and Pearl, thus the name Switcheroo, if you're not aware. But, yeah.
It's on a level. The only people she has a real connection with out of the entire group is Steven and Peridot. When Lapis returns, she says the one line that truly damns her character.
If they're gonna punish me like a crystal gem, I might as well be one, right? You got room for one more?
This was not
the damning
good.
Line.
She joins the Crystal Gems because
and not her just saying hey to Peridot after like ruining her life last time they saw each other.
Feels she has no choice, which is not appropriate to her character development. Another character Lapis should have had a problem with would be Bismuth. The two have off-screen development. I mean, just look at all these—
Oh my god, I hate when people say this. There is absolutely no reason for Bismuth or Lapis to remember that Bismuth is the one who poofed her. And so it is a little ironic that they're friends in the future. And only the audience knows this detail. You know? So, there's like no fucking point to either of them remembering it, but let's just hear her go over
scenes
it.
of them smiling comfortably around each other. It's not right. Lapis was placed in a mirror and has great memory. She would have remembered the face of the gem that poofed her and got her captured in the first place.
Would she?
She should have been
in the middle of a skirmish, you'd remember who punched you in the back?
That poofed.
And you think Bismuth would remember, like, a random Lapis she punched for 2 seconds 5,000 years ago? There's absolutely no reason for either of them to remember each other. You know, Lapis has been stuck in that mirror for, like, 5,000 years. I think that's the thing she has more of a problem with. So yeah, there's absolutely no reason for the two of them to even remember each other. And it is a little ironic that they're friends now in the future, unknowing that Bismuth is the one who poofed her initially. But it's not like Bismuth put her in the mirror. She just poofed her on the battlefield because she thought she was an enemy. And then the enemies thought that Lapis was one of the crystal gems. Well, we don't know. Well, I think Sugar might have confirmed it is the Bismuth we know here in the flashback. I think she might have confirmed that. I'm not entirely sure. But, like, yeah, it was like 3 seconds. There's no reason they'd remember each other in the middle of, like, a frantic skirmish. So I really don't get this. Like, I don't... It's a problem I see in a lot of bad media reviewers, where they think that the characters know everything the audience knows, when that isn't always true. Sometimes it's beneficial to have the audience be aware of things characters aren't, you know? So, but, like, just because something happens in a story doesn't mean every single character in the world is aware of it. I don't get people who think this way. It's so strange to me.
In the first place. She should have been afraid of, if not extremely untrusting of Bismuth. But here, the show acts like nothing happened.
Don't remember each
Lapis
other!
Also could have reconciled with Jasper.
Oh, yeah, right. But no, but it's a little detail. It's just a little detail we see in Lapis's flashback that is unremarked upon by anyone. So this is something only the audience knows. But I don't see Lapis reconciling with Jasper, but I have said, if we ever had, like, some sort of spin-off set in Little Homeworld on Earth, I would love for there to be an episode where Lapis and Jasper are avoiding each other so hard it's actually starting to cause problems, and, like, other characters stage an intervention. That would be how I'd approach it. Because Steven Universe is still a funny show. It doesn't have to be, like, all drama and dreariness. I mean, it rarely even is, when you think about it. You know? But, yeah, I could see, you know, Jasper just abruptly turning and walking through a wall when she sees Lapis. You know? And Lapis doing other, like, you know, just flooding water away or something, you know? Well, if I ever finish my main Switcheroo shit and pivot into, like, a sort of slice-of-life Little Homeworld thing, maybe I will do it myself. It would still be in the Switcheroo universe, but, like, there's no reason I couldn't do that plotline, you're right.
But here, the show acts like nothing happened. Lapis also could have reconciled with Jasper. The two literally confessed they were abusing each other through their...
I love Jasper. I love this big, dumb, stupid bitch, but she is, like, the most unreasonable, most stubborn character in the entire show. And, like, she doesn't have a problem with Lapis. She actually kind of respects her, which is the fucked up part, you know? Like I said earlier.
Somewhat out-of-nowhere fusion relationship.
What do you mean out-of-nowhere? This episode is so good at explaining it, too. Jasper respects her now because Lapis basically beat the shit out of her. Because that is Jasper's, like, framework of understanding anything. Might makes right. If I'm more powerful than everybody, I'm better than them. If somebody's more powerful than me, they're better than me. But if they're more powerful than me by being a fusion, that's cheating! That's how she thinks! She is an overgrown schoolyard bully. This is really what she is. And I love her. I love how unself-aware and non-introspective she is. Like, on the surface, she seems like a simple character, but she's actually kind of deeply complex. But she's completely not introspective about herself. So she just comes off as a dumb bully, you know, which is what I really like about her. Honestly, Jasper wasn't even, like, one of my favorite characters until Future. And I got to that first episode where she has that, like, petulant, petty argument with Steven. And I'm like, oh my god, was she tsundere this entire time? And I kind of went back and studied her episodes more and kind of, like, put together, like, my understanding of her character. So I have my PhD in Jasper, thank you very much.
All-down version of rose quartz works for you now?
See, I always do her voice too deep. Every time I, like, hear Kimberly Brooks' actual performance, I'm like, I do the voice way too deep. Everyone says it's a good impression, but I'm like, I go way too down. I gotta practice more.
You're pointing that shield the wrong way.
Like, the way, like, seriously though, the way she does the voice is insane. I've kind of figured it out. Like, Kimberly Brooks, when she does this voice, she has it, like, up in her nose and down in her chest at the exact same time, because she is an incredibly talented voice actor, whose level I will never be on. But it's great.
You're pointing that shield the wrong way. She's the one you should be afraid of.
This was not one-sided. Jasper was just as hurt, if not more so, than Lapis was during their time.
Well, so you know that. Why did you say that Lapis needed to be rescued from her then?
Together. To never revisit this feels wrong.
Fuck you, Dio. I will continue to slander Lapis. You can post loss and chat at me all you want. Yeah, Steven literally kills Jasper, and that makes her respect him. She is fucked in the head. But it's like she was made too perfectly, you know? It's almost like the same problem Spinel has. She was made a little too perfectly for the role she was made for. And both of them were made for roles that Pink Diamond didn't actually want. So she is completely perfect for the purpose she was made for, but the purpose she was made for is imperfect. And that is what gives her this sort of mass inferiority complex that she covers with a superiority complex. And I don't think she's even aware of that. Because again, she's a big dumb bitch who can't introspect, and I love her. That's where most of the humor of Jasper comes from, just her lack of self-awareness. You know? I mean, that's the humor with a lot of the gems, because, you know, they're aliens. Aliens are gonna come to funny conclusions that humans wouldn't. But especially her. I mean, a lot of Pearl's humor is also her lack of self-awareness, but...
For Lapis's view on fusion could potentially be tarnished forever after this incident.
Probably
Lapis was just forgotten about, which is truly saddening. So, how do we fix her? Step 1. Crystal Gem integration.
Well, this'll be interesting to hear how Hezu thinks she would fix Lapis, because I agree, I think Lapis was a wasted character. Because I think when we get to raising... I'm talking so much I'm not drawing, as usual. When we get to raising the barn, they've set up a nice little storyline where Lapis has been abusive toward Peridot, but she doesn't even seem to be aware that she has. And we have seen over several episodes that Peridot is, like, walking on eggshells around Lapis to avoid, like, her mercurial moods. And, you know, keep her happy and keep the peace in their little barn household. But when raising the barn happens, they hear the diamonds might be coming to Earth, and Lapis flips out. And she's like, oh my god, we have to flee the planet. Come on, Peridot, let's start getting ready. She doesn't even ask Peridot first, do you want to leave? She just expects her to go along with what she wants, because that's what Peridot's been doing, to placate her. And the whole episode, Peridot is like, just kind of resigned to this until Steven encourages her to stand up to Lapis and tell her that she doesn't want to leave. So Peridot finally does and says, I don't want to leave Earth. I want to preserve everything we've built here, Lapis. And Lapis's retort to that is to call her a liar, and then rip the barn out of the ground and take it with her. So to punish Peridot for not agreeing to flee the Earth with her, she rips away everything they had together. I've compared it before to, like, your girlfriend's in a manic episode and says, we have to flee and leave the city right now, and you say no, and in retaliation she trashes your apartment. That's, that's about the equivalent, I think. And that was a great setup. But then they go nowhere with it because they ran out of fucking episodes. We had to have 4 goddamn episodes in Season 5 about Lars for some reason. So, Steven just goes and hears Lapis sing a sad song about how sad her own shitty actions make her feel. And then she shows up to the fight with the diamonds and drops the barn on Blue Diamond, and then this goes, hey, to Peridot, and then gets welcomed back into the friendship by Steven, and Peridot doesn't even get a word in, and it's like, if she had just said sorry there, I would have less of a problem with it. If the first thing she said to Peridot was just, sorry, that would have been fine. That would have been at least okay. But no, she just has to go, hey, like she's gracing Peridot with her presence, and it's like, fuck you, bitch. And then she gets an unearned badass moment where everyone else is getting, like, rocked by Blue's, like, crying powers that make everybody feel her pain and make them cry. And Lapis just goes, I felt worse. It's like, fuck you, bitch! Pearl is standing right behind you! You know? Anyway, that's my Lapis rant, everybody. Let's take some super chats before we get into this section.
At Federal Angels 96 sent a super chat. 30 minutes late tax. Glad we are doing good.
I know, I'm in a good mood. It's about time we got back to lighter subjects. Everyone's like, Sad's so immature. She just talks about cartoons. Yeah, we covered heavy topics the last couple of weeks, so maybe I just want to talk about fucking cartoons, okay? Is that so wrong? And yes, Lars is the Jax of Steven Universe. I've seen a lot of art comparing the two of them.
At VarishWolf95 sent a super chat. I have a question that's been haunting me for a long time. How do the gems feel about jewelry?
You know, it's weird, though. You don't see a lot of jewelry with gemstones in the show. I think you barely see any. I mean, Uncle Andy does say they have jewels on them, but you, like, hardly ever see, like, actual gemstone jewelry in the show. So I wonder if it even exists.
At NeoKaiser0 sent a super chat. Pink Diamond ordered the gems to leave Lapis in the mirror because she thought she was kinda a beach.
I don't know about that, but...
At the Master Clockwork sent a super chat. It is a funny Lapis is as deep as a puddle.
She didn't have to be, though. That's the frustrating part. You could have written a good character here.
At Waker sent a super chat. Shout out to how Bismuth was the one to initially proof Lapis in the war. And this was never addressed.
It's supposed to be late, because as I was explaining, it's something only the audience knows.
At Wolf Titan Reading 5308 sent a super chat. Hezu, why didn't the gens fight Hitler?
I mean, like, a lot of people do ask questions like that, and, like, sometimes the only answer you can give is, it's a children's show. Like, come on, that's not like a Cinema Shins plot hole buzzer moment. It's a fucking children's show. Then again, Hey Arnold had the grandfather claiming that he beat up Hitler himself in World War II, you know? The 90s were just better.
At Dino Nuggy 22 sent a super chat. Making fan work is ultimately the solution to main series leaves unanswered questions or plot lines.
Yeah. Like I was saying before, I just like playing around in this world. Even if I think the show is flawed, I do think Steven Universe is greater than the sum of its parts. And it comes out as a good piece of media overall. Despite a lot of the glaring flaws with it. And I really like a lot of the concepts, you know? And I like the mood of it. Steven Universe is a lot about vibes more than plot when you really watch it, you know? It's more about being sublime than it is telling, like, hard lore world building or something. It's not really concerned with world building. It mocks the very idea of world building, actually, because there's a great background running joke in Steven Universe that the ocean is, like, higher in that world than it is in real life. And it's, again, something never actually directly talked about, but, like, there's only 37 states. Florida is an island. I'm pretty sure Providence is also an island. You know, there's just all these little hints that the geography is different. They got weird things like soup juice boxes and durian juice boxes, and there's all these funny little jokes in the background of the world just being weird. And it doesn't really need hard lore or hard rules. As much as me and many others would like there to be a bit more hard lore around gems, and maybe have it be a bit more like a battle anime, it just isn't. And you have to accept that about that if you're gonna be a fan. Yeah, the Keystone State. The state called Keystone, obviously.
At Nostalgic Nerd 9036 sent a super chat. She also explained Rose isn't gone.
Maybe we'll watch that one if we have time, cause I like that Rose didn't come back. Though I will say the finale, I did become a fan and catch up with the show in time to watch the finale when it aired. And I will say the finale gave me just enough doubt. I was like, there's no way they're gonna bring Rose back, because it would be kind of thematically fucked if they did. But it gave me just enough doubt that I was kind of on the edge of my seat. You know, but I think it is good thematically that Rose doesn't come back, especially since there's so many parallels to Steven being a child who has grown up with a parent who died before he got to know her. And, you know, kids with dead parents don't get their parent magically back. So I think it would undercut a lot of the show if she did come back, you know? And the idea that Pink was an immortal who kind of fell in love with the idea of impermanence and the ever-changing nature of the Earth and kind of wanted to become part of that finite system it kind of fits her character and is kind of interesting.
At Seong7578 sent a super chat. I think Jasper's humor mostly comes from consistently getting her ass kicked by multiple lesbians and non-binaries in overcoats.
I mean, she's basically Vegeta in that regard. She comes in talking a lot of shit and then gets her ass kicked.
At Kaylee and Christian sent a super chat. I can't believe the writers think Lapis trauma is worse than Blue Diamond losing her little sister/daughter. Ugh, fuck Lapis.
Yeah, right. I've had worse. I had to sit in a mirror for 5,000 years. Nobody has more pain than me. I've always said people like Lapis because she's spiritually a goth girl.
At Saucinist sent a super chat. All work, no lesbian rocks make Psy a dull girl.
I know. That's me during the Lars episodes. Get back to the space, lesbians, goddammit!
At NeoKaiser0 sent a super chat. Talk tax. Growling. Argagef Arga Argan Mama.
You just want me to go, like... like that? I don't know what you're gonna use that for, Kaiser, but congratulations.
At Super Easy Walker sent a super chat, and both of them, Jax and Lars, died and was pushed aside and the in-universe world was better for it, unintentional.
Now, is Lars the Jax of Steven Universe? Or is Jax the Lars of Amazing Digital Circus? Now think about that. Big brain stuff today.
At Kendall _ sent a super chat, held at gunpoint tax. I'm saying I love Lars.
I'm Sai and I love Lars! How's that? Fine, there you go. Okay, I think that's it. I think we're done with supers. Now we can see how Hezu suggests she would fix Lapis's writing, and, well, let's see how she does.
Arc. Have Lapis interact with each gem like Peridot did. Lapis needs that missing connection to make her Crystal Gem membership real and understandable. Let her fight with Pearl and Bismuth. Let her relax with Amethyst and find consolation with Garnet. She needs to believe in the cause, believe in the Earth, and make true, stable friendships that better her life and allow her to heal.
I don't think she necessarily has to believe in the cause to just go, I'm a Crystal Gem now. I mean, that does seem to be kind of Lapis's personality. She's kind of casual about shit.
Step 2. More barn-centered episodes. It was good that Lapis was given some space, but she still—
Or we could just take them out of the fucking barn. Like, put those two— like, just put Lapis and Peridot on the boardwalk. You could just— it would write itself.
needed more screen time. Most of her development and adjustment to Earth was done off-screen, which was simply not appropriate for a secondary team gem. Step 3. Secondary team integration fixture. Lapis, Peridot, and Jasper all came to Earth together. It feels only appropriate they come back together in the end as well. Lapis may have found a friendship with Peridot.
So I don't know about that. Lapis doesn't like Jasper, and Jasper doesn't like Peridot. So... and Peridot just thinks she's in charge of everybody. Because she has a lot of unwarranted self-importance somehow for a gem.
Peridot, but the two had off-screen bad blood that left Peridot depressed after their fight.
There are many things I should say, but they would upset you, so in general I don't say those things.
Yeah, see exactly what I was talking about. Peridot's always, like, walking on eggshells around Lapis and trying to keep the peace and trying not to piss her off. That's a terrible way to live. And Lapis sees no consequences for this. She just gets invited back into the friend group and then gets an unearned badass moment at the big battle with the diamonds. Fuck you, Lapis.
Peridot, that's lying.
Fuck
Lapis
you, Lapis!
and Jasper were brought closer together as a fusion, but in a toxic way. If Jasper was allowed a redemption arc, Lapis would be the best person to help her on—
I know this was before Future. But I don't know, it kind of fits her character that she basically had to be dragged clawing and fighting into a redemption arc. I like how everyone was like, oh, but Jasper didn't have any character development in Future. I'm like, she was in Little Homeworld at the end. That in itself is actually kind of a big step. She was stubbornly out living in a cave, guys. Because she didn't want anything to do with getting better.
On her way to a new life on Earth. This way...
Now, see, about Jasper becoming Crystal Gem, I think if they had had more seasons, I think they might have found, like, a way to uncorrupt Jasper and have her train Steven, you know, Piccolo and Gohan style, to fight the diamonds. They kinda did that in Future. But, like, I feel like Jasper's uncorrupted design, like, came first, and they kinda did the uncorrupted designs for the other quartzes after. Because Jasper wasn't corrupted like other gems were, you know? So they could maybe have found a way to reverse it. And then, yeah, training arc with Jasper would have been absolutely fucking hysterical, you know? I mean, as soon as she heard Rose was Pink Diamond, she'd probably switch sides. Let's be real. Yeah, I did draw her doing the dodge thing when she kicked Steven into the air in Future, which was really fucking funny.
Lapis would be far more involved in the story and not forgotten about or put away like all the villains have done to her the entire series. On to Peridot,
oh, boof,
the second homeworld gem introduced. Peridot's arc was the most...
I mean, what do you mean? Peridot has the most complete, like, redemption arc of a former villain in the entire show. Like, she gets a lot of focus.
Out of all the gems. Many would even say completed. She introduced the concept of fixing warp pads. She was the first Era 2 gem to visit Earth. She introduced the cluster arc, and she became the first new member of the Crystal Gems since a very long time, and she even showed us the possibility of gems gaining new powers. She interacted with each gem in their own episode.
I don't think she gained her metal powers. I think she probably always had them and just didn't know. You know, like, because she is an Era 2 gem. They're obviously reduced compared to Era 1 gems. That's why she had to wear, the limb enhancers. It's implied that the limb enhancers are to basically, have Era 2 gems be up to code with the size they're supposed to be. Which is why I draw, my fan character, Olivine, like a taller Peridot, basically. It's what I imagine Era 1 Peridots were bigger.
And she even found the Earth to be quite beautiful. She found new powers, a sense of purpose, and a new sense of freedom. So why, oh why, is Peridot on my list?
Why?
Because she became a joke.
If you're trying to flush yourself down the toilet, it won't...
What do you mean? She's fucking hysterical! Like, when Peridot's first introduced, she's kind of intimidating, but then later we find out she's female Zim and she's a little gremlin. But I think a lot of that has to do with the Steven POV. It's like with the diamonds. When you first meet the diamonds, they're all very eerie and inhuman and cold. But then by the time we're in the movie, they're Steven's goofy little clueless aunties. And I think it's the change in Steven's perspective of these characters that we're seeing. So yeah, first time Steven sees Peridot, she's scary. But when he gets to know her, she's a little gremlin. And like, we see that even before Steven gets to know her. Like, when they're chasing her around, like, the kindergarten, she is a little unhinged. You know? And then when Steven unbubbles her, and we see that she's this tiny little thing, you know? That we see who she really is.
Oh, work.
I still remember that scene too when he unbubbles her, and I was like, I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, she's just female Zim, isn't she? It was not a surprise to me when I found out that Rebecca Sugar was a Zim fan.
Trust me, I've tried.
It's no secret Rebecca Sugar was a big fan of Invader Zim.
Yeah.
Peridot and Zim had many similarities.
I just
even
said that,
beginning.
Hezu, anyway.
You lie! You're lying to me to make you feel better. Thank you.
However, Peridot's
Shelby Rabara is fucking hilarious too, man.
personality was a lot more businesslike. She was more serious, more scared, and I guess you could say more evil. She, like Zim, was obsessed with the diamonds, or people in authority. which is where I felt her personality started to go downhill.
Like that.
See, Zim, when interacting with his enemy Dib, he's a badass.
Not while I'm around!
Isn't this the episode where they're like piloting butt-shaped planets at each other? Yeah, that's really badass. Does she know that Zim is a comedy? Is she aware that Zim is a comedy? There's nothing serious or badass about Zim and Dib. They're both idiots. That's where the humor comes from. It's a moron pursuing another moron. You know?
Don't tell me you actually thought you'd win this! Oh, you horrible, interfering Dib!
He's calculating, smart, and achieves...
You thought that was badass? This is a Jonan Vasquez work. Nothing is serious. I was actually very surprised that Enter the Florpus had kind of like a heartwarming story between Professor Membrane and Dib. I'm like, wow, this is like an actual emotional thing in Zim. That the last thing I expected.
Great feats. But when interacting with his tallest, he's submissive.
Yeah, Jonan Vasquez is a lot like Vivzipop. Or Vivzipop, rather, is a lot like Jonan Vasquez, where a lot of the humor derives from the characters as being kind of stupid. Like, everyone is just kind of dumb, you know?
He's dumb and easily ridiculed.
I mean, Zim is always dumb! Zim is supposed to be a moron! That's why they sent him to Earth in the first place! It was a bogus mission, just to get rid of him! Did you forget this was a comedy? I don't understand. What is it with this generation and taking jokes so fucking seriously and personally? I don't understand.
Tallest! It's me! Look at me! My tallest! My tallest! My tallest!
And also with the gems, the diamonds are their creators and their gods, basically. They're their rulers, their gods, their creators. The tallest are only in charge because, as the name implies, they are the tallest. Though if you were a real fan, you would know what actually controls Urkin society is a big robot brain. Fucking tourists.
I hate how Zim is with his tallest. They don't recognize his greatness. He gives all this attention and worship.
Are you being so for real right now? You sound like Zim. They don't recognize my greatness of the great Zim! I mean, like, my favorite line from Zim is, I put the fires out. You made them worse. Worse? Or better? He's supposed to be an idiot! Him and Dib are both morons, and no one else takes either of them seriously. While they're locked in this big battle with each other. That's why it's funny! And that has always been Jonan Vasquez's humor, if you read, like, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and Squee and shit, you know?
To the people who barely give him the time of day, and that's what happened with Peridot. I mean, she did reject Yellow Diamond in the end, but she had a strange infatuation with Amethyst that didn't make a lot of sense.
You outrank everyone on your team.
What? It's Nerd and Jock! Opposites attract! Come on! They're a cute ship!
We should be listening to you. If I've damaged my standing with the best gem here, then I've made a serious mistake.
She said Amethyst was a leader gem, and therefore should be respected. But Jasper...
Well, no. She said because Pearl is a pearl, and Garnet is a fusion, by default, Amethyst is the one with the highest rank, being a quartz. But quartzes are not high-ranking gems, they're foot soldiers. Jasper is unique, though. It is implied that Jasper may have a rank above her station because she was such a perfect quartz, and because she was such a war hero in the rebellion. Or the fight against the rebellion, rather. And she was the only Earth quartz, like, that Yellow Diamond took. The rest of them got shoved off on the zoo because Blue was too sentimental to shatter them. So basically, Yellow Diamond saw Jasper as the only worthwhile quartz to come out of the Earth. So she is very different than the average quartz. You're not dealing with the average quartz, Frieza! You know? Fuck me.
Amethyst was a leader gem.
She literally is just Vegeta, though.
And therefore should be respected. But Jasper was the perfect version of Amethyst, and Peridot didn't respect her at all.
We can't leave yet!
Because Peridot thought she was in charge of the mission. That is one of the jokes. When the rubies come looking for the leader of the mission to Earth, Peridot assumes it's her. It was actually Jasper. Jasper was actually the one leading this mission. Peridot just thought she was in charge. But Peridot is like that. It's like how she immediately declares herself the leader of the Crystal Gems. You know, she has this amazing unwarranted self-importance that it's bizarre she wasn't shattered before now. You know, Jasper was actually in charge of this mission. I don't know if Quartzes outrank Peridots. It's unclear. Like, the hierarchy of gems is never really laid out. Again, the gem lore is very, very fast and loose. They were probably making up a lot of it on the spot. It's not a lot of hard lore. Trust me, I have combed through this fucking show so I can write my AU. I try not to make things up from whole cloth, but it's hard not to because there's just so little to work with. But I imagine Peridot didn't get punched in the face because she might outrank Jasper, technically, but Jasper was in charge of this mission. I imagine that Yellow Diamond assigned her to it, or I can even imagine Jasper just, like, kicking in the door to Yellow's throne room and, like, demanding to be put on the mission. I have this headcanon that, like, like, Yellow is basically her adoptive mom and lets her get away with shit. Because she's such a perfect quartz, and oh, she kind of reminds her of Pink, you know? So, that's my headcanon anyway.
The whole point of coming here was to check on the cluster.
Stop singing!
She's like, fuck you, we found Rose Quartz!
Get back to the bridge and set a course for Homeworld.
I mean, she is ordering Peridot around here, so, but I would think a Quartz wouldn't outrank a Peridot in a lot of situations. But who knows? I mean, Peridot is also an Era 2 gem, so...
It'll be easy, they said.
Well, like I said, a lot of the lore is just kind of... make shit up yourself based on the little scraps they give you. The gem lore was clearly not a priority for the Crudiverse. I'm sorry, it just wasn't.
What's about? She should have just liked Amethyst because she was an overcooked runt like her. Peridot just became more goofy.
No. If you pay attention, yes, Amethyst is an overcooked runt. She's small because she stayed in the ground too long. Peridot is small because she's an Era 2 gem. So she is made to be the way she is. They just can't make gems the way they used to. And it's probably because they don't have Pink Diamond anymore. What it seems like is the essences of all 4 diamonds are what goes into making gems. And I've actually heard a really good fan theory that I like to subscribe. I didn't make this one up, but I like to subscribe to this one, that shapeshifting comes from Pink, which is why Peridot can't shapeshift. Because she doesn't have any Pink Diamond essence in her. That makes a lot of sense to me, actually. I don't even know if they did that on purpose, but that makes a lot of sense to me.
Goofy. Less important. She was a true Crystal Gem member. She trained with them, she bubbled for them, and she gained great power to help them. She even spent a great amount of time within the Crystal Gem's temple bathroom, unlike Lapis. But she didn't have much involvement with them. The only big thing she had done was help Steven with the cluster and poof Jasper. After that, she was just shoved off onto the sidelines. She's no longer an integral Crystal Gem member. She's just their plucky comic relief now.
I mean, what's wrong with that, for one thing? I mean, all the gems have comic moments. I mean, Pearl is a comic relief a lot of the time because she's so high-strung and persnickety, and that's often the humor with her. You know, and Amethyst's humor is that she eats random garbage and stuff like that, and then, you know, Garnet's humor is she's really deadpan.
Hi, Amethyst!
So, how do we fix this?
She doesn't need to be fixed!
1. Fix Peridot's...
Amethyst doesn't need to be fixed, goddammit, she is perfect! Anyway, let's get some more supers before this next section.
At DinoNuggy22 sent a super chat. Bringing Rose back would be a bad decision, like bringing Jax back from abstraction. It would defeat the purpose of their character arc.
Exactly.
At NeoKaiser0 sent a super chat. Talk tax. Sigh. Get in there and make it about you.
Am I talking to myself? Sigh, get in there and make it about you.
At the _ space frog sent a super chat.
That's right, Frog.
Fix paradot. Greater than. You can't fix perfect.
Can you tell who Frog's favorite is?
Sent a super chat. I want Jasper try to take care of a living being.
I have had this headcanon, like, and I might do it in, like, what I've been talking about doing slice of life shit after my main Switcheroo stuff, if I ever get there in the next 84 years. I was thinking, like, what if Jasper starts working in, like, the greenhouses that Peridot is running, and I could see Jasper, like, with a very serious, stern, angry face, taking care of tiny little plants, which would be hysterical, and even more hysterical in my AU, since I've made it so Spinel is, like, she has, like, a traumatic response to plants and flowers. And I'm just that mean to my characters, so I would possibly also make that a thing.
At NeoKaiser0 sent a super chat. Olivia, Steven Universe's animation is so inconsistent. They go off model way too often that it becomes offensive. Do people think this is okay?
Ah, geez, that was so long. Hang on, I need to go so I can read the entire super chat. This is supposed to be Olivia, right? Oh god, you guys have sent so many supers.
Steven Universe's animation is so inconsistent. They go off model way too often and it becomes offensive. Do people think this is okay?
That's like that one short I did where I had Olivia at the end saying, "You like Steven Universe? I watched a 2-hour video on it." Meaning Lily's video.
At Mr. DeBossBaby6969 send a super chat. OC idea. Give Peridot her own dib.
Ronaldo. You have Ronaldo right there. It'd be pretty easy, actually. I did in one of the really old Switcheroo things, had Ronaldo be on the Truth Shriekers forum with, Dib and Dipper Pines.
At Miss Jasmine305 sent a super chat. Smart Zim is an oxymoron.
I know! Zim is a moron! Like, she's like, oh, they're so disrespectful to Zim's character. It's like, he's a moron!
At Zero sent a super chat. Talk tax. The Doom song for 6 months straight.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you, like, I'll give you some you can repeat. Doom, 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 doom. There you go. There you go.
Ed Sharuvi sent a super chat. Feats Onoshis or a farm edit brained.
I mean, she is a zoomer. She might be TikTok poisoned.
At Super Easy Walker sent a super chat. Fun fact, Peridot was also based on someone from Rebecca Past who is maybe mean but wasn't malicious.
Aw, that's cool.
At NeoKaiser0 sent a super chat. Talk tax. Mia and Inko, I put the fires out. You made them worse. Worse. Or better?
So maybe. I put the fires out. You made them worse. Worse? Or better? There you go. Now you can draw fan art around that, Kaiser. There you go. We're an industrial complex unto ourselves.
Super chat. I mean, Zim can be resourceful and thinks on his feet at points, but it's all for the purpose of fueling his idiocy.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why it's great.
Illustrated sent a super chat. Day 1 has been Hotel, an adult cartoon show, to be like a kid's cartoon? And they want kids' cartoon shows to be like adult shows?
I know.
At Mr. DeBossBaby6969 send a super chat. Talk tax Jasper. If it's called The Art of War, then why are there no pictures?
If it's called The Art of War, why are there no pictures? There you go. Now I'm trying to do it more high-pitched, because, like, damn it. Every time I hear the actual voice, it's like, I do it too low!
At Sconsan Jam sent a super chat. I love the theory that Pink Diamond is a large part of what helped give the gems life. Especially with all the flowers and water symbolism.
Yeah, because it always seems like Pink's power is always more, revolved around, like, organic life, which the other diamonds kind of shun, because Homeworld is very sterile and very devoid of any organic life, and of course they use organic life to make gems and just kind of suck it all up until it's a barren wasteland. And if you go by the theory that Pink came after the other diamonds, because she is a lot smaller, which means she maybe stayed on the ground longer, just like Amethyst. So it could be the other 3 diamonds already had their big sterile society put together, and then boom, here comes Pink! And they have no idea what to do with her, because she does not fit into the world they have built so far. And instead of finding a way to include her and her unique properties in their world, they instead repressed her and tried to get her to conform to what they've already built. And that would make a lot of sense about the interactions between the diamonds. Again, kind of up to inference, but that's just how I view it. You know, I mean, White even outright says, like, you're the part of me I have to oppress, because White thinks she's everybody, because she's white light, etc. So, and then she gets proven wrong, and that just shatters her worldview, and that's how the show ends, yes.
At Super Easy Walker sent a super chat. Amethyst eating garbage and Jasper has raging temper, truly an earth gem.
I like to think that Jasper's raging temper comes from, like, she got, like, the worst, most impulsive parts of Yellow Diamond and Pink Diamond. What a combination.
At Miss Jasmine 305 sent a super chat. Peridot got an episode getting to know each crystal gem. How is her relationship with any of them forced?
I know, and like, just earlier she was saying, well, Lapis should have also had episodes with every crystal gem getting to know them, and now she's saying that the friendship between Peridot and Amethyst is forced. Which I don't feel like it is. They kind of, I mean, they're both younger gems, and Amethyst is very amused at, you know, meeting a completely homeworld gem. I mean, she's used to Pearl and Garnet, who are still a bit more alien than she is, because obviously, being born on Earth and never knowing homeworld culture, Amethyst is a bit more like an Earthling and like a human. So she already kind of laughs at Pearl with her alien logic, and now here's somebody even worse who she's amused by, and they start getting along.
At Kendall_ sent a super chat. Fix Peridot this, fix Lapis that, why don't we fix this economy in my white America? At Sconsam Jam sent a super chat. Blue and Pink's last conversation we see in the Shadow Puppet flashback is so good.
Oh, I know.
It says so much and so little.
I know, especially the line where Blue says, as long as you are here to rule, this colony will be completed. And you can almost see how that put the seed of the idea in Pink's head to basically fake her own death, you know?
At NeoKaiser0 sent a super chat. Talk tax, Mia, ha. And here you thought I was just another bubble-headed blonde bimbo.
That's a
well,
good one.
The joke's on you. I'm not even a real blonde.
That's a Harley Quinn quote for people who don't know.
Ha! And here you thought I was just another bubble-headed blonde bimbo. Well, joke's on you. I'm not even a real blonde.
I mean, that was actually more my Harley impression, but what's the difference, really, between my Mia and my Harley Quinn impression? Nothing. So here we go. Let's see.
Forced friendship with Amethyst. They're friends because they are genetically built wrong or simply built differently, not because Amethyst is a gem of power.
Wow, they get along because they have something they can relate to with each other. Imagine people doing that.
2. Fix Peridot's personality. Make her be more serious like she was about the cluster. She's still allowed to be goofy and funny, but let her also be more serious and less—
I mean, she was serious about it because it was like her one job she was sent to do, and she kept getting interrupted by the crystal gems, which was stressing her out, you know? And of course, she doesn't want to be stuck on Earth before the cluster, like, destroys everything. So yeah, of course she's fucking serious about that, but she's just not a serious person in general. I mean, look at her.
of a punching bag. 3. Let her be more involved in the story.
Well, I agree
no
with that
off-screen
one.
developments that the audience can't see. A tree can fall in the forest and make a noise, but if no one—
I both agree and disagree, but I do think they kind of lent on the crutch of the Steven-only perspective too much sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, Steven wasn't there to see it, but like all this important shit happened off screen. It's like, okay guys, alright, okay.
one is around to hear it, it may as well have never happened. That's
I would be the meanest fucking editor, guys.
at least how media consumption works. Oh, Jasper.
Oh, Jasper. We love Jasper, but I don't think you understand how media consumption works, Hezu. God's sakes, you think Zim is a serious character. Oh. How are you just, like, so clueless? I don't, like, did you watch Zim as a kid and thought it was a serious drama, and you're just going by your memories? I mean...
Jasper.
Oh, Jasper.
Jasper
Indeed.
was a veteran. She
love
fought
her.
in the Gem War. She had a strong hatred for Rose. She was
Strong
powerful
hatred for
and
most
as perfect
things.
as a gem like her could possibly be. She thought fusion was pathetic, only to find out how useful it could be through her fusion with Lapis. Rebecca,
Not useful, I just think that Jasper was drunk on the power of Malachite when she finally got control of the fusion, because keep in mind, Lapis was controlling the fusion and keeping them under the water that entire time, so the only time Jasper is really in control of Malachite is fighting Alexandrite. So what? She gets control over Malachite for all of like 10 minutes. And like it was fantastic because she's never been that powerful before. And again, Jasper's entire self-worth is tied up in how powerful she is, because that's her utility to Homeworld and what she's always been praised for.
I respect you and the work you do, but you and your team...
You respect Jasper? No, you respect Sugar.
did Jasper so dirty.
Did they, though?
You showed Jasper. Her mind changed.
I mean, she has one of, like, the coolest, most climactic scenes. She has one of, like, the best, like, character exits from the show. And she drops the bomb of there being a pink diamond. That was a big deal at that point in the plot, because there being a pink diamond was something only speculated about by fans before then, because yeah, you see like the diamond emblem in the background and there is a pink one, but like, before yellow diamond was mentioned, like, Jasper's like the diamond revealer, actually, because she also is the first one to mention yellow diamond. She just casually name drops yellow diamond during the return, and then her exit from the show is her revealing that there's also a pink diamond, and that rose quartz did something to her. So, you know, that's a big deal. She gets some of the biggest reveals of the show, and like, you do feel sorry for her in what's the fucking episode called? I'm forgetting right now, but you know, the one where she fights Smoky Quartz in the kindergarten. For people who don't know Steven Universe, it's not an actual not a school. That's what they call the places where they make gems, because they inject the material into the ground, and it incubates in the ground, and then a gem pops out, and that's how they're made, and they call those areas kindergartens for obvious reasons.
About fusion, her
so I'm not saying they were fighting in a school with a bunch of little children, if you haven't seen the show.
Desperation and loneliness, and you expect us to not feel sympathy for her?
Earthlink!
Maybe she's blowing things out.
Well, now you're showing the Dove commercial, which, actually, the Dove commercial is one of the things that, like, made me understand Jasper's character the most. Because basically, Amethyst suggests she has problems, and to prove how much she doesn't have problems, she just destroys the entire set. Which is great. Love her.
You expect us to not feel sympathy for her?
Maybe she's blowing things out of proportion because she's got her own issues to work out.
What?
You guys literally just threw...
Literally, the whole thing is great. She's like, what? I don't have issues, you have issues! Just destroys everything. Yeah, girl, you totally don't have issues. You totally don't have the whole subscription.
her away as soon as she revealed Pink Diamond's existence. She was corrupted and bubbled for so long, I thought we would never see her again.
Like I said, they might have originally planned to bring her back to have her train Steven to face the diamonds, but they ran out of show. Because they wasted so much goddamn time with their 5 seasons, and then they got the show canceled over a gay wedding, so they didn't have time to do that. But, because especially Ian Jones-Cordy was really liked Jasper and probably wanted to do more with her. And it's not like they didn't have Kimberly Brooks around. She voices other Quartzes. Like, all the Quartzes are Michaela Dietz and Kimberly Brooks. That's the fun thing about Steven Universe 2, is, like, all the gems of a particular type are voiced by the same voice actor.
I'm so unbearably frustrated that when we do see her return, it's in the midst of chaos. Yes, chaos. Imagine this. You wake up.
It's like, this scene is hysterical. I'll tell you why if she shows the whole thing.
See the murderer of your diamond, the overlord that took over your planet. But they have allies. You're surrounded by enemies, but not only that, but your diamonds are there.
Now, see, the way I take this scene, like, there's no audio in this scene. there's only music, right? But Jasper stops as if she heard something. You know? She suddenly stops. Like she heard something and she's confused. And then she looks behind her. And there's Yellow Diamond giving her a mom glare. This is my whole Yellow is her adopted mom theory. So she's about to attack Steven. She probably hears Yellow go, turns around, sees Yellow glaring at her, and then just kind of sheepishly sinks into the water. So I have this headcanon that, like, I think Yellow and Jasper had some kind of rapport. That's something I would like to explore. But I could see Yellow, like, kind of being her mom and, like, letting her get away with shit no other courts would be able to get away with, you know? That's just, yeah, basically, Jasper, no! Hitting her with a newspaper, that's basically what she's doing there. So, yeah, that's how I read that scene, is Yellow must have cleared her throat at her and is giving her a mom glare like, no, be good.
Are there acting as though everything is
and
then the overcooked
Amethyst approaches her, says something. We don't know what she says. Maybe, hey, sis. Again, there's no audio.
This comes over to comfort you.
And then Jasper just kind of... Oh, you cut it out, and then Jasper just kind of sinks into the water a little embarrassed, and it's funny. I love that scene.
With full-blown panicked rage, she just sits down, as if embarrassed. This is...
She was! That's why! You're like, as if embarrassed, as if that's not, like, completely broadcast to you by the character acting. Like... No, they did have to rush the end, Kaiser, obviously, so...
Not Jasper. She does not get closure.
I would like to know what happened in the 2 years between now and future, though. Because Amethyst goes from, like, approaching Jasper and, you know, kind of wanting to form camaraderie with her, to the beginning of future where she's like, man, fuck her! It makes me think Amethyst probably tried to befriend and talk to her, and Jasper was just, well, she was just Jasper. That's missing time I would like to see in some kind of follow-up.
Her character took a turn when she revealed she belonged to Pink Diamond. Even when she was passed over to Yellow, she still saw her shattered diamond as the one true person she served.
Yeah, actually, because she doesn't ever call Yellow my diamond. She calls her Yellow Diamond. Which, again, I can imagine Yellow letting her get away with it, because she still considers Pink her diamond. I just have this... Again, this is just my fucking headcanon that Yellow was a little permissive with Jasper.
Only does she realize...
Yeah, look at her. She's just a lost puppy who could kill you by throwing a house at you. I mean, that's kind of the problem. It's like, yeah, she's kind of an overgrown schoolyard bully, but she could fucking pick up and throw a freight train at you, which makes her rather dangerous.
She was actually fighting her diamond all along, but now her diamond is truly gone. Her weak, half-human son is all that she left behind. Jasper loved her diamond.
Jasper doesn't know that here. She doesn't know that Steven is the son of Pink Diamond. She still thinks he's Rose Quartz who killed her diamond. So again, here we have Hezu acting like the characters know everything the audience does, though the audience doesn't know it by this point either. But at that point in the story, we are not supposed to know that Rose is Pink Diamond, so Jasper also doesn't know that. You know? So, like, why are you making that like a plot point? Yeah, Jasper's the favorite. Jasper's the golden child of Yellow's army. Just like Pink was the golden child.
Loyalty to her. Why? I bet we'll receive amazing flashbacks about Pink Diamond and why Jasper is so committed to her. Nope.
She was made for Pink Diamond. What other reason does she need? Gems are just born knowing this is my purpose, this is my role in society, and this is my diamond who I'm expected to worship. That's all they come into the world with. And they don't change unless they get outside influence. That's why coming to Earth changes so many gems, because it's so different to what they're used to. And they've never experienced these things before. That's the entire point. The only thing they've experienced is this sterile society where they're expected to just be one thing, and only that one thing forever, unchanging. And so when they come to Earth and see all this new shit they've never experienced, they're like, whoa, wait a minute, what the fuck? This is why I need to process this. You know?
Nope. Nothing.
No. Jasper's definitely Vegeta. They even have Jasper do the Majin Vegeta smirk in future. Come on now, she is Vegeta.
We get literally nothing. Even after everything, Jasper cannot ever truly get closure.
I mean, well, Jasper would have to want closure. Again, like I've said before, the charm of her character is she is extremely not introspective. And that's where a lot of the humor around her derives from. But this review is separate from SU Future. Oh, so she did make this after Future. Okay. Interesting.
It's not fair. Jasper's arc was far from over with. And this is how it should have been fixed. Jasper doesn't—
Oh god, let's hear how you'd fucking fix This has gotta be the one that makes me angry. I honestly think her role in the show was fine. I would have liked to see her come back uncorrupted with the horns and everything and train Steven. That would have been cool. But the show is what it is. The production was what it was. Cartoon Network was always fucking them around. They'd finish things on time, and then Cartoon Network would just sit on it, air episodes out of order, air them in chunks that didn't suit each other. And the show was constantly fucked with by the network. You know, so it is what it is. Yes, there's a lot of lack of potential, but it is the nature of producing things for a big network, unfortunately. Which is why a lot of indie stuff is doing better these days, because creatives can actually just make their vision and not have it fucked with, you know?
Doesn't become corrupted despite fusing with a corrupted gem. She either escapes after the reveal of Pink Diamond or gets bubbled away and—
Well, the whole idea that she became corrupted by fusing with the corrupted gem is interesting. You know, it's almost like that corrupted data or, like, spread to her like a virus. Because when you get down to it, the gems are basically computer people. You know, they're just the gemstone. Everything about them is programmed into that gemstone, and then the gemstone projects their body from light. You know? So they're basically digital people.
Until an accidental popping later. Whatever. The rest happens as follows. 1. On-screen info relay and mental breakdown over the reveal of Pink Diamond's identity like Bismuth had received. Though Jasper's reaction would be—
Mental breakdown? I mean, Bismuth had the most base reaction. Let's just watch Bismuth's reaction really quick, because it was really funny. Let's see, Steven tells Bismuth— Damn it. No, I didn't want to go back to the video. Fucking let me type, YouTube! Hate when it does this to me. Steven tells Bismuth about Pink Diamond. We just have to see Bismuth's reaction, because she has the most based reaction. Yeah, okay. So, we might just have to skip to the end of it for this one, but... Alright. There we go. Here's her... Her reaction is so fucking funny. It's the best.
Only a diamond could do damage like this. It was Pink, wasn't it? Why didn't Rose stop her?
Because they were the same person.
What?
And that's the whole story. Are you okay?
Yeah. Hang on a sec.
Bismuth?
Oh my god!
Yeah, mental breakdown. That's like her whole reaction is she just sticks her head in lava and screams. As if she like stuck her head in a pillow and screamed. And then she's over it. Also, HezuReviews is great. We love you, Bismuth. Like, best reaction. Like, they didn't have a lot of time, so they made it a joke. And it's great. Just... I just love how she's like, she's barely keeping it together before she's like, just give me a sec.
Far more catastrophic. 2. Flashbacks revealing Jasper's respect and potential infatuation over Pink Diamond.
Again, she fucking is a soldier made for Pink Diamond. She was specifically made for the war. I mean, Peridot pretty explicitly says that about the Beta Kindergarten, that they slapped the Beta Kindergarten down real fast to generate more soldiers to fight the rebellion. So, Jasper was basically born to kill crystal gems. You know? So.
3. Inner Circle and Outer Circle Crystal Gem Group interaction and reconciliation. Let her bond with Amethyst, let her understand fusion with Garnet, and let her find reminiscence.
And again, in the 2 years between the ending of Steven Universe and the beginning of Future, Amethyst goes from, I want to reach out to Jasper, to, God, fuck that bitch. Jasper is not the easiest person to deal with. Again, we see that in the first episode of Future, where she has that argument with Steven. Actually, maybe we'll just play that too, because it's really funny. And it's what made me like her as a character. Steven Universe. Steven, Future. We want Future. Steven, Jasper, argue. It's like she's just being so petulant and so difficult on purpose. It's so funny. I love it.
Okay. What are you even training for? There's no one left to fight.
There's always someone to fight. There's just no one left worth fighting.
In that case, maybe you could come join us at Little Homeschool?
No.
Come on. We're all learning and growing together. And you could be a part of that.
Sounds dumb.
You know, half those gems are soldiers who fought by your side before they were corrupted and turned into monsters. They're lost and confused and still a little messed up, but they're getting the help they need.
Talking to her is like...
who cares?
I do. And if I didn't care, you'd still be a monster too.
And what? Now I owe you?
No!
You think because you did something I never asked for, I'm going to obey you?
No, that's not...
Like all the other gems you use.
So yeah, that's the average experience of trying to reason with Jasper and trying to reach out to her. She is just going to be immature and difficult. And just turn everything you say around on you. Because she's a stubborn asshole. And we love it. So yeah, that's about how the average, that's how I imagine Amethyst's conversations with her went, and anybody else who tried to reason with her or get her to join everyone in the Little Home World or whatever. So yeah, she... And I like that. I like that she's this stubborn of a character. Again, it's where a lot of humor about her derives from.
In Pink's Pearl, let her make up with Peridot and Lapis and Steven. Let her fall in love with the earth her diamond loved and left behind. To throw her away, after all she had suffered, was just...
I mean, again, her only reaction to Steven having Pink Diamond's gem is, you're not my real diamond. Again, like a bratty child.
Wrong. It's not fair to redeem the diamonds and not her. Another thing that Peridot, Lapis, and Jasper never really got closure from was fusion.
Fuck's sake, Hezu, the diamonds weren't redeemed. They were put on the very beginning of the path to redemption, but they were not redeemed. God, I hate when people say that. Jasper takes everything literally. Well, so do a lot of gems. Again, they're aliens. That's part of the humor of it. They don't think like humans. They take a lot of things literally, you know. They come to strange conclusions because they're aliens.
Peridot made an attempt to understand Garnet by fusing with her, but opted out last minute. There was rumored to be some talk among the Crooniverse of Peridot being asexual, but they never really set it in stone. As an asexual...
For fuck's sake, Hezu. You mean a single storyboard artist said that? And it's a weird thing to say that I don't like, because if you're equating not fusing with being asexual, then you are saying fusion is sex, which I thought was something we tried to move away from after the first Sexy Dance fusions. And also, because a lot of people kind of see Peridot as autistic, also, like, desexing her as an autistic character is also kind of... I don't know. I think it was Maya something said she sees Peridot as asexual, but again, that is the opinion of a storyboarder. That is not text. So, Like, it annoys me when people act like this is canon.
Actual myself, representation is important.
And I mean, she's not even representation, though. I mean, well, technically, none of the gems would have anything because they don't even reproduce sexually, but, you know. But no, but some people take it too far and like, no, you can't ship Peridot with anybody now because it's totally canon that she's asexual, but it's not canon. You know, you can see her that way, that's fine, and again, that's the opinion of a single person who worked on the show, but it's not in the text of the show, so don't bully other people for not seeing it the same way.
It's an exciting
well, like I said, the only reason people say she's asexual is because she doesn't want to fuse, so again, you're just saying fusion is sex if you say that. Like, can we be a little bit more nuanced here?
However, fusion can happen between friends and family as well. Fusion is an experience,
she's
and to
making
lock
the same
Peridot
point.
out of it is disappointing, especially after seeing her relationship.
Well, not everybody has the same experiences, and we don't know if she might be down to fuse in the future, if it happens by accident at some point, but, like, so Peridot doesn't want that intimacy with someone else. It's not necessarily asexuality or something like that, so it's like, yeah. And also, she can't shapeshift, so she doesn't really have a lot of normal gem powers, so she doesn't, like, I don't know, she's, like, maybe not primed for those things. So who cares?
Grow between Steven and Lapis, and even Amethyst. I, for one, would have been delighted to have some fusions between her and the others. Lapis fused with Jasper.
Yeah, but at the same time, fusions are kind of useless in the show, because really, the purpose of fusions in Steven Universe is to be a guest star episode. They will introduce the fusion, give them a celebrity musician voice, and then they can barely use the fusion again because they can't afford that celebrity musician voice. I think that was a mistake. It's a neat idea, but it really limited how much you could use those fusions. And again, Steven Universe isn't a battle anime, as much as some of us want it to be, but yeah, it really did leave the fusions extremely underutilized as a concept. Like, there's so many times in battles they could have solved things by fusing and they don't, you know? And again, that's a criticism. Well, yeah, they'll have them and they don't give them a voice. They don't have them talk. I mean, they could have all been like Malachite and just had a double voice, you know? But then that being a unique feature of Malachite makes her more disturbing, so I don't know. It is what it is. The show is what it is. The production is what it is. How it was made is how it was made. You can't really change it now. Where's your SU fighting game? I don't know, go play the Save the Light games. They're pretty damn good. I've only played the third one, but it plays a lot like Mario RPG, and it's actually like, there's actually a lot of depth to it. Maybe I'll finish that one on stream sometime. I never finished it.
Mimicking that of an abusive relationship. She has not fused since then, which feels as though we've lost the sense that she's healed from that experience. She trusts Steven more than anyone, and although she's quite powerful to hold her own, fusing with Steven could not only be beneficial.
The traumatic fusion only happened like a year ago. Even less. So yeah, I don't think she's healed from it. Lapis's whole problem is she doesn't want to give in to her desire to control other people, even though she kind of does it unconsciously with Peridot. So she's mindful of that, but also isn't. Which, again, could have made her an interesting character if they did anything with her.
Official power-wise, but also for her mental health. I suspected she and Peridot may have infused at some point, considering the bond that grew between them at the barn, but
everybody.
It never went anywhere.
Neither did Lapis's storyline.
You're really here.
Hey.
Peridot, she abused you. Don't forgive her that easily. You can do better. I do kind of like to think that because the two of them became friends with Bismuth, Bismuth is a bit of a balancing factor between the two of them. Bismuth seems like she'd just be a good friend to talk to.
You show up here after weeks, and you say, hey?
Yeah, actually, Hezu 10 out of 10 video, you're right, actually, yes. This is how it should have gone down. Let's go back and watch this. Finally, a good point.
You show up here after weeks, and you say, hey?
Jasper's experience.
Yeah, exactly. Again, if she had just said fucking sorry instead of hey, I would not have as big of a problem with how Lapis is written.
With fusion was a huge part of her character. She's a strong-built gem that felt like a failure to her diamond despite being the best there was. Decades of guilt and insecurity piled on her shoulders. But when she fused with Lapis, she saw a bigger picture. Her relationship with Lapis was toxic.
Well, she didn't see a bigger picture. She was just like, oh my god, I was so much more powerful when we were fused. Let's do it again! That's really all she cares about. And she doesn't even see why what Lapis did to her is fucked up. Because she's fucked in the head.
Did this, but Jasper wished to continue. Months later, she was building up her own army of mutants, and even fuses with a corrupt one out of desperation. Jasper revealed she's not just—
Yeah, but the desperation is because of her pride. And again, her inferiority complex that she's covering with a superiority complex.
Doing this for power anymore. She's indeed a very lonely person.
No, she was doing it for power because she was upset that she literally right before she fuses with the corrupted gem, she says, I am not going to lose to another fusion! You know, she's pissed off that she's losing the fight. And she sees fusion as unfair still, kind of. So yeah, Jasper's entire self-worth is tied up in how powerful she is, and what a good soldier she is for Homeworld. So of course that is like her top priority. I always say, if you understand a character's values and motivations, you can write them in any situation. And Jasper's value and motivations are, might makes right, I need to be powerful, if I'm not powerful, I can't justify my existence because I'm from Earth, which is a shameful thing to be from, you know, so it's all that tied up in her, but again, she herself is kind of unaware of it.
With a corrupt one out of desperation. Jasper revealed she's not just doing this for power anymore. She's indeed a very lonely person.
She probably, again, she says nobody who fuses with me wants to say, I do agree she's probably lonely. Because, especially the stuff she says in future to Steven. She goes on this big rant about how his so-called friends, just want to make him feel bad for being himself. You know, she's like, what are the actual lines? I know I have them saved, because I was making this point on social media. Let me just check my resources folder where I keep all the character art. I think it's in there. Just so, or I can just bring up the scene, I suppose, but let me do it this ass-backwards way first. I'm pretty sure I have the pictures of the dialogue. Oh, I do. Okay, so what does she say? Let me look it up. Yeah, she says, your so-called friends are afraid of your power. And they want you to feel bad for being yourself. Now, to me, I take that as complete and utter projection. I think that Jasper was too hardcore even for the other Earth Quartzes, and she was always kind of isolated from them, and then she's further isolated from them when Yellow takes her into her army, and all the other Earth Quartzes are shoved off on the human zoo. So she probably hasn't even seen them since. And she's like a quartz above her station. So, she's the best quartz there is, but she is still kind of a lower-ranking gem. So, yeah, she is kind of isolated. But again, this is all kind of inference, and not stuff that was actually explicitly stated in the show.
Nobody I fuse with ever wants to stay.
It's also going a little crazy here, but yeah.
Fusion with these three was dropped ever since, and I think that was a poor choice. Considering fusion was an integral part of their arcs at some point or another. The three for sure should have fused with Steven. Peridot and Lapis had multiple opportunities to do so, even accidentally. A fusion with Steven and Jasper would allow their fusion to understand—
Yeah, but again, fusions function as guest star episodes, so if we just randomly had a new fusion in the middle of the diamond fight, it would have been too distracting. The only thing you have to remember at Steven Universe is the episodes are only 11 minutes long. I know, Jailbreak, every time you watch it, feels like it's half an hour. It is only 11 minutes. That episode particularly just bends space-time around itself. But the episodes are only 11 minutes long. That's all they got from Cartoon Network. Very standard. That's like a SpongeBob format. 2 11-minute episodes. And they were trying to tell a continuous serialized story with that. Sometimes. Other times they just had waste of time episodes because, again, they really didn't have a lot of prioritization or focus. That's the biggest problem. But, yeah, episodes are only 11 minutes. You have to pick a focus. So, introducing a brand new fusion in, like, the middle of the diamond fight, because that episode's, like, 22 minutes, but you have Garnet's wedding, then the fight with the diamonds. Adding a fucking fusion into that with a new celebrity guest voice would have been just too much. It would have been way too much, you know? So, yeah, I do think the way they handled fusions in the show was kind of lackluster, though, and again, I think just making them all guest stars was a terrible mistake.
And their pain. And would allow Jasper the chance to understand Pink is—
Shut the fuck up, Eddie in chat. The only Steven Universe episode I have never watched is Say Uncle, and I will never fucking watch it. I don't care about your friend's shitty show, Rebecca and Ian. I'm here to watch yours.
is gone, allowing her to move on. Jasper must be taught that fusion is still more than power. Fusion is a form of love, something she's never truly—
Well, on Homeworld, that's all they see it as a utility, and that's why, like, they only expect gems of the same kind to fuse, because then it's just a bigger version of themselves, and there's nothing new introduced. That's why the whole cross-gem fusion thing is seen as, like, bad over there, because they're being introduced to new concepts and ways of being outside of the purpose they were made for, and that's a no-no on Homeworld. So, you know, because you're supposed to just be the one thing you were made to be always and nothing else.
Experienced. Fusion is the key to Jasper's redemption that was never given to us.
Are you sure?
So, the obvious solution, let them fuse, Rebecca.
I mean, you think maybe Jasper has a lot of fusion trauma too, maybe? Her only experiences with fusion have been being tortured by Lapis and getting corrupted by a corrupted gem. She doesn't exactly have the best model.
Now that we've handled the big guns, here are some honorable mentions.
Oh, yeah?
Lars and Sadie. Lars was widely considered a rude character that—
Lars and Sadie, who should have been in the show far, far, far less than they were. That is my opinion.
needed some sort of character development.
I knew if something went wrong today.
They give him way too much character development and want us to care about this stupid fuckboy. I don't understand why the Crewdiverse was so enamored with this goddamn character. Except that he was one of the first ones they made for the show. And obviously Lars of the Stars is the show that Rebecca Sugar actually wanted to make. Because if you look at the making of Steven Universe, they had the Lars of the Stars shit, like, locked in, like, way early on. And it's like, they were totally planning it to be a backdoor pilot forever, and they really, really wanted to cram it in there in the 5th season. And it's like, okay, I get it, Sugar, this is the show you actually want to make. Okay, I get it. Why do you fucking like this character so much, and why do you try so hard to convince us to like him? Even the first time I watched the show, mostly blind, I'm sitting there going, show, why the fuck are you trying to make me care about this fuckboy and this girl that is way too good for him? You know, I don't mind his, again, like with Lapis, I like his voice actor. I think his voice actor is good. Fucking hate the character, and I hate how much he's focused on. And it's not even just like, oh, you're distracting from gem time. There's other townies that could have gotten more development. My biggest example is always Kiki Pizza. Why the fuck is Kiki Pizza getting a focus episode when we barely know who she is? You know, we've spent less time with her than her twin Jenny. Like, we don't know this girl. Why is she suddenly getting a focus episode? Just so you can make a Kiki's Delivery Service pun? And the only thing that episode actually accomplishes is introducing that Steven can go into people's dreams. That's it. You know, so it's just like, maybe if Kiki had been in more episodes instead of goddamn fucking Lars, that episode wouldn't come out of nowhere. I like Jenny. Jenny Pizza's funny. But we see more of her than her sister. So, like, why is her sister suddenly getting a focus episode out of goddamn nowhere when she's been, like, on screen for a total of, like, maybe 3 minutes in the entire show? You know? Again, this is what I mean about lack of prioritization
It would be because of you. Now I'm never going to be friends with these guys. All because of your weird mom.
As soon as he
the
dies,
cool kids
quite
who are
forcibly,
all way better
the
than him. I mean, Sour Cream is Brian Pusheen, which is already amazing.
old Lars is now dead, so he could become a new person. This was not only rushed, but also went...
You stole that line from Lily Orchard, and no, he doesn't change one goddamn bit. He's still the same narcissistic little bitch he always was. Because even when he's a space captain, in an unearned Captain Harlock reference, with all these new friends, and a cool spaceship, he is still, like, narcissistically angry that Sadie is living her best life without him. And it's like, fuck you.
Kind of nowhere. Lars and Sadie's arcs took a wrong turn. Sadie was a reclusive girl who liked to sing in private instead of an audience. While she later gained her confidence with the suspects and performed via alternate genres...
Yeah, that's another one that should have just been a single episode. Like, why did we need to waste so many episodes in Season 5 on fucking Lars and Sadie? Like, I know they're your Blorbos Crooniverse, but you could have actually focused on your fucking plot. Again, I would be the meanest editor in the world.
Genre. With the failure to locate a replacement voice actor for Sadie, this development was poorly executed. No offense to her voice actor, but when voicing Sadie, she can't really...
I agree. Sadie, like, her little song in Future is pretty good, but trying to make this woman do, like, hard rock singing, she is not good at it. I agree with Hezu here. Could somebody else have been her singing voice? You know, she's just not very good.
Sing. Metal, that is. In the debut song, you can hear her voice struggle to keep in key.
Can't you see that I exist and I don't need an exorcist to...
She doesn't have breath. She's just kind of up in her face and not her chest or her diaphragm. This is very amateur. This is karaoke night singing, which is why I couldn't buy that they became a successful band. And again, why did we waste 2 fucking episodes in Season 5 on this when we could have been wrapping up the actual plot? I do not care about this character. Though I may have named my dog Sadie because this show reminded me that I really like the name Sadie.
Let me out.
Yeah, like, she's better in the movie, but I think because the song is really overproduced in the movie, and you also have Amethyst as a backup singer, yeah, Greg also isn't really... His VA isn't also a singer, but that makes more sense for Greg since he's like a failed rock star. It's like, I'm supposed to buy that a bunch of people are like lining up to hear this shit. No. And again, I don't care about Lars and Sadie getting like their characters wrapped up because they don't fucking matter. You know?
Fortunately, too deep a voice to convince me Sadie's a metal singer.
Why can't you see me?
It's not the deepness, it's the lack of power. And the lack of singing ability in general. Again, you can tell she doesn't have enough breath. She isn't singing from her diaphragm. That is the key.
Why can't you see me?
Honestly, anybody who thinks they can't sing, learn to use your diaphragm. You might be surprised at the sounds you can make. Yeah, this was like it's very out of her range. Again, her cute little hipster song in Future sounds a lot better because it's in her range.
A female Kermit the Frog.
What's the point of all this time I'm spending here?
Didn't realize your stench would burn.
Okay, another W for Hezu.
Hire a different voice actor. There's plenty of media out there that have 2 voice actors for one character, like Jack Skellington, for example.
Yeah, fuck. Sugar, why didn't you just do the singing voice? For God's sakes, you would have been better. But Sugar also doesn't really do, like, metal or something. She does a lot of hipster coffee shop music. So.
One for...
Like, have you ever heard Sugar's demo for Other Friends? It's, like, way more chill. And then they brought Sarah Styles in, and she just brought that, you know, Broadway flair to it.
Voice and one for song. They should have done that for Sadie. In Steven Universe Future, she broke up with her band and sang a calming song of different genre, which she sounded
exactly
beautiful
what I was talking
doing.
about, yeah.
I'm looking forward, I'm looking forward.
No, listening to it now, she sounds auto-tuned. But I did notice that in Future, the sound in Future is very overproduced. It's almost like too much, you know? It's very sharp.
Looking forward.
And it's like everybody's dialect, everything. It's very, very, like, fucked with digitally. Oh yeah, I like Rebecca Sugar
However,
singing too,
it
but
still
I don't
doesn't
think she
change
could
the
do
fact
metal.
that most of her career was spent attempting to sing metal, which her voice actor was incapable of doing. So it was just very off-putting. Lars
Yeah, it's
was
almost
a
like they should have
self-conscious
just ditched the
teen with a
entire
secret
plot
passion for
line.
cooking. He dies, joins a group of rogue gems, saves Steven, and is now in the imminent danger and exploration of homeworld.
I've got you now, you miserable off-colors!
Hi, Jinx Monsoon. Anyway, so, like, yeah, I also agree with this. Like, the off-colors are a cool idea, but we didn't have time for them. I've always said they learned they were not getting a 6th season when Season 4 was in production, which means a lot of Season 5 probably was written, but I don't know how much of it was locked in. And if a lot of it wasn't locked in, I blame them for wasting so much time on Lars and Sadie. It's like they were the priority of what they wanted to wrap up, instead of the main plot with Steven. And it's just like, again, like I said, Lars of the Stars is the show that fucking Sugar really wanted to make. Which I will still watch it. I did say I would put up with Lars if it got me more gem lore and a monkey's paw somewhere crooked. So, it's my fault, guys. I caused it to happen.
You'll never take us alive, Emerald!
Or we're just gonna jump right into a sitcom of him suddenly becoming
Please accept
captain of an
nobody
alien
likes this
ship.
character as much as you
and,
do.
And he even knows how to repair advanced space tech. What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure all the gems around him maybe do. On the other hand, though, they've all been living in a cave their entire lives, so how the fuck do any of them know to do anything? Also, where did he get those clothes? Because gems don't have a lot of physical clothes. Like, capes, yes. I think Jasper's cape is actually something separate from her. But most gems don't even have to wear clothes, because clothes are just part of their body, because they're like video game models.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, Cyberpunk, I love this song, Who's Ready for Tomorrow, especially when it starts out with the clown horn music. It's perfect for me.
Sense. Everything was done off screen.
Yeah, Emerald was Jinx Monsoon. You didn't know that?
Again, everything was done off screen.
What if the gems are projecting clothes on him? Oh my god, he's naked.
Is everything done off screen? Rebecca, why is everything done off screen? The off-colors have designs parallel to the characters from Alice in Wonderland. This could have been explored more. Give us more episodes exploring Homeworld through Lars. Show us.
Now, see, if Lars had to be there on Homeworld with Steven, and it couldn't have been fucking Sadie or literally anyone else. It couldn't have been Connie, apparently. Then again, I think that might be a voice actor payment thing, because Connie's always, like, in only half the fucking episodes. But, like, I would have preferred, instead of doing the fucking off-colors, which again, we didn't have any time for, and they're all one-note characters we didn't have time to develop, instead of doing that, I would have loved to see Lars and Steven running around Homeworld, terrorizing the locals like two escaped zoo animals. That would be how I would have approached this.
That's how he evolved. But also, maybe push back his sudden magic talent from—
And, like, the only thing Lars's death even amounts to is just giving Steven a shortcut home to Earth. Like, that's the only reason he dies, really. It's kinda lame if you think about it. It's like, you like this character, and you made his death just, you know, a warp whistle home for Steven?
Building tech when he—
What's the name of the girl voices It's Grace something. I know she's been in the Fallout 76 expansion and a few other things. I usually remember voice actor names, but sometimes names just escape me.
He was just a culinary student. That was out of nowhere. Either way, the off-colors were basically just shoved—
What do you mean that was out of nowhere? There was a whole episode of him making ube. And being embarrassed that he has this side of him where he likes to cook because he's very insecure about his masculinity and looking cool. So, we already knew that he likes to bake. So, that one wasn't out of nowhere, actually.
The culinary student? That was out of nowhere. Either way, the off-colors were basically just—
You're saying it explained Lion. I guess we could have explained Lion other ways. I still like to pretend that I believe the fan theory that Lion is secretly Rose. I don't actually believe it, but I just like to say it because it's funny to me. I like to be like, I think Lion has a copy of Rose on him, but he doesn't have enough RAM to run her. So he's just kind of vaguely an instrument of her will.
Shoved off into space. Forgotten about until the very end. It just wasn't right. Lars and Sadie's character development was a 180.
Again, instead of rushing their development for Season 5, because these are the blorbos of the crew, they should have just cut all of this. Grace Rolick, thank you. In my ideal version of Steven Universe, we would have just cut all of this. Cut the off-colors, cut Lars of the Stars, cut Sadie joining a band. Focus on wrapping up the fucking plot. If I had to compromise, I would say get the fuck rid of Letters to Lars. Now, obviously keep Jungle Moon, because that is plot relevant. Condense the other fucking Lars episodes in Season 5. I forget how many there are. It feels like there's a lot. It's probably not as many as it feels like there are, but yeah. And then just reduce Sadie's band to, like, 1 episode. That frees you up 2 or 3 more episodes to wrap up the shit at the end of the story, you know? Because, again, Sugar had to beg for, like, 4 more episodes to wrap up the plot. And it's like, okay, well, if you didn't spend so much time on your fucking blorbos who aren't even important, really, you maybe could have had more time to do that. There's a Filipino bakery that makes ube. Ew, Filipino food is so good.
Reclusive music fan to overdone metal lead singer.
I've mentioned before, like, one of my oldest and best friends is Filipino, so I would get, go over her mom's house to visit, and I'd get, like, siopao, and I'd be handed, like, oxblood soup when I got there. Good shit, man.
Insecure normal to weird leader. It's not impossible, but it needed more work and more relevance to the plot. The same goes for Pink Pearl, Bismuth, and Centipedal. All intriguing characters that had great significance in the story, yet they were shoved—
I will admit that the Nephrite, that was the Centipedal, kind of got shafted, because everyone expected her to have at least some interaction with Steven in future, and then just nothing. And it's like, well, that was a wasted opportunity, but that's the name of the game in this show a lot of the time, is just lack of priorities and wasted opportunities, unfortunately. But, as I always say, I do feel like it's more than the sum of its parts. I feel like it's a vibe. And one thing you can always say about Steven Universe is the background art is absolutely fucking incredible. You could take any background from Steven Universe and put it in a picture frame on a wall, and it wouldn't be out of place. The backgrounds are a masterclass in minimalism. And Steven Sugar, Rebecca Sugar's brother, was the colorist on the show, and he took color theory and broke it over his fucking knee in this show, and I am still learning color theory tricks from this show.
To the side. I will say I have my reservations and issues with Connie's character and her use in the story too, but
yeah,
I think that should be saved for a different video.
I also feel like Connie was underutilized, but again, it might be voice actor contracts, payments to voice actors, even limits on how much kids can work. So that might be a reason, like, it might be more than just creative choices why Connie's, like, only in, like, half the episodes of every season of the show. Because that was the joke we always had with Future, like, where's Connie?
Steven Universe's main issue is being rushed and doing everything off screen. All these characters are victims of this issue.
And they wouldn't be as rushed if they had prioritized their goddamn
plot.
Pair
the secondary characters into their own team.
But you also gotta remember, while they're trying to make a serialized story 11 minutes at a time, Cartoon Network really didn't want them to be making serialized stories, because it was still the time period of the television network. We wanted just half-hour episodes anybody could stumble across and follow to keep people coming back to certain time slots to advertise to them. So that is an annoying thing with network TV. They probably didn't want them to be making a serialized adventure show, but they were doing their absolute best with the format to try to make one. So that's another thing you kind of have to keep in mind. Again, it's part of what makes the show and the creative choices of the show interesting. Because when the show nails it, it nails it, you know? And then other times it can just be frustratingly incompetent. But making a show is not easy. Making a show in the limits of a children's network that was very cynically just spamming Teen Titans Go at the time and only gave them 11 minutes at a time to work with, you could be sympathetic to that and to what bad conditions that is to try to make something under. So, again, especially with Steven Universe Future, I'm very easy on Steven Universe Future because think of it this way. So, Sugar wants to have the Garnet wedding. Cartoon Network straight up tells her, fine, you can have your fucking gay wedding, but you're not getting picked up for another season. Show's over. It's like, alright, fine. So, they're making season 5, they're wrapping up the show, they have the movie greenlit. When someone at Cartoon Network goes, oh, but you can't have a movie without a show airing, so here's 20 more episodes. You know, after they've already locked into the ending they have. Like, I always said, Sugar's a better person than me, because I probably would have just burned the building down at that point. Like, oh, we forced you to end your story early, but now here's 20 more episodes out of the blue to do something with. And it's like, God fucking damn it. So that's how Steven Universe Future came to be. And why I'm a lot easier on it than the main show.
But show their development in a functioning as said team. Steven Universe was always about character development, so preventing these characters from receiving this via in relation to one another is what makes it feel so rushed. Just have more episodes with them. Steven Universe has plenty of filler. Why can't we simply have canon filler? Rebecca!
Yeah, you were just showing Onion Friend, yeah, the most pointless episode in the show outside of Say Uncle. Like, Onion Gang, oh, it's Onion Gang, not Onion Friend, I always get those confused, but Onion Gang is like, why the fuck did we need this? Onion was great as just a shitpost background character, we didn't need to waste a whole goddamn fucking episode on this, especially when you have such precious little time.
We simply have canon filler. Rebecca! More development. More
I swear I like Steven Universe guys, though. I swear I like it. I only skip 18 episodes when I rewatch it.
Flashbacks. More fights. Gimme. Something else I'd like to mention.
It was never gonna be a battle anime.
The diamonds.
Get over it.
Before Steven Universe Future, I felt as though White Diamond should have been shattered. After Steven Universe Future, I take it all back. In a single episode...
Because people who think Steven should have shattered White Diamond are like people who think Aang should have killed Ozai. Oh, yeah, let's just have the young minor hero in our children's show who tries to be pacifistic as much as he can, just throw out all of his own values and fucking straight up murder the villain. Yeah, okay. That's a good idea. Again, forgetting it's a children's show. Like, do we really need to do the Disney thing of bad guys are just bad and they just need to die? You know, that used to be the standard for kids shows. We can only show a bad person being punished by just fucking killing them. And that kind of makes a lot of people grow up with a very draconian idea of justice, I think. You know, so yeah, is it bad to tell kids that maybe bad people are more misguided and misunderstood and maybe, like, talking to them and not just shooting them in the face is possibly a good way to handle conflict? Like, again, this show was made for fucking 8 and up. You know, he was never gonna kill the diamonds. Well, I did hear that the Cartoon Network wanted him to shatter Spinel originally. Which is like, what the fuck? All of a sudden. You know, like, the movie was another, like, I love the movie, but it was another, like, production mayhem type thing. They didn't even have the giant injector in the movie at first, but Cartoon Network needed there to be a ticking clock, because kids can't pay attention otherwise, I guess. We should shatter Lapis, though, you're right, we should. We should grind her into dust. Let's do it.
The Diamonds have shown a complete turnaround and are dedicating themselves to reversing their mistakes. And I just love this. It's never too late to change.
Yeah.
I love the diamonds, and I take back everything I said about wanting to shatter them.
Okay, cool.
That being said, however...
Damn it, we were on the same page, Hezu! I've always said I fucking love the diamonds in the movie. If people complain, I'm like, no. No, I love them being a silly little Greek chorus in the movie. It's fucking perfect. I love it. Again, how characters are depicted tends to change depending on how Steven sees them. So when he first meets Peridot, he doesn't even meet her. He's seeing Peridot from a distance. This is a strange gem he's never seen before. He doesn't even know there's more gems, so she looks scary. When he gets to know her better, she's not scary anymore. Same with the diamonds. The diamonds, when we first meet them, are all very scary and intimidating, but by the movie, Steven knows them pretty well now, and they seem a lot goofier. You know, it's the Steven perspective that controls these things.
Their redemption was far, far too fast.
They weren't. You just said yourself they're on the path to redemption. They haven't been redeemed. They're doing the work to work toward redemption. I hate this fucking false dichotomy that bad guys can only be forgiven or murdered. Like, there is an in-between here. There is a nuance that a lot of children's shows have more gravitated toward in the last, like, decade or two.
For White Diamond especially. There were many other ways to go about White Diamond's character arc. Let's explore a long-forgotten and debunked theory I made a long while ago.
I wish she got a solo song, though. That would have been great. They probably wanted to give her one, given who they cast, but again, they ran out of time, and part of that's kind of the crew's fault for wasting so much time in the first place.
Now picture
like,
this.
Even without the gay wedding thing, because yeah, it is bullshit that they got canceled over a gay wedding, but even without that, you have no idea if you're gonna keep getting picked up for seasons. You have no idea. It's always up in the air. The network could decide to axe you at any moment. So use your time and your episodes wisely, you know? If you're gonna tell a continuous story.
This. White can't leave her ship physically. She is just unable to. Because she is...
oh, that's your theory. Okay, yeah, yeah. No, that... It is the most on... Yeah, at least Patti LuPone got a solo song, and then, Lisa Hannigan... Is it Lisa Hannigan? Blue Diamond. She got a solo song in Future, but White never got a solo song. What the fuck? I mean, Christina... Is it Christine or Christina? Christina Ebersol does lead the chorus of the Diamonds in the movie, so I guess it's kind of like she's the main singer and Yellow and Blue are her accompaniment and her, her harmony. But she's still there. I still would have loved to see her get a solo song. But yeah, it is the most on-the-nose symbolism that White is in her own head, in the show. Like, I don't get how many more people don't get that. Like, it's so blatantly obvious. White Diamond is in her own head and doesn't, like, listen or communicate to anyone else. So Steven, getting through to her by literally entering the headship is a very, very obvious metaphor.
Keeping Homeworld together. That's why she couldn't go to the trial and why she couldn't attend the ball.
Oh yeah, that was an
Steven and company battle her, including the other diamonds.
Actually, I have a better theory about why Homeworld looks like that. And you could say it's because, that's where Gemkind started and they've used up the entire planet. My theory is, what if Pink did emerge after the other diamonds? And what if, when Pink emerged, it split the fucking planet finally? And that would be even more of a reason for White to treat her like a nuisance and like an interruption to their perfect system. That's just a headcanon of mine. I know people love hearing my SU headcanons.
Heather. That's why she couldn't go to the trial and why she couldn't attend the ball. Steven and company battle her, including the other diamonds. During the battle, White's gem cracks and she loses her grip on the world and everything starts to shake. The entirety of Homeworld is at stake.
Fan theory that's
Maybe
not,
Steven gets White to blush again, making her question her perfection. Either way, she literally witnesses how torn apart they made Homeworld. They
Guys are saying, but that's just a cannon. A head cannon.
Diminished its resources. The gems can't organize to fix anything. It's a mess. Steven manages to convince White and the other diamonds that they don't just have the ability to destroy, but they can heal too. They all sit in a circle and sing together. They sing.
I mean, that is what happens in the future, basically, that their powers all reverse. And it's kind of implied that Pink's powers reversed. Her powers went from destruction to healing. So it's like how Blue's powers went from making people sad to making them happy. And Yellow's powers went from destroying the form to repairing it. And White's powers went from taking control of other people to letting other people, like, take control of her. As in, she's taking in other perspectives instead of forcing her perspective on other people. You know, so it seems like the Diamond's powers can just change depending on their mood and their outlook. Because they're just space gods, you know? It doesn't really need any logic to it.
Sing loudly. Their forms all glow brightly, and their sweat and tears leak.
Because, I mean, because you see when Steven starts getting Pink's powers in future, when he's in a bad mental state, he starts getting those destructive powers. His shield changes to something much more sharp and dangerous looking, you know? He starts putting spikes on his shields. So, you know, his mental state changes what his powers can do.
Go off of them onto the ground. Their beams of light solidify into ropes and strings that wrap around the planet and literally starts to pull.
She's just writing fan fiction right now. Okay, can we get a move on, please?
Episode. However, it should have been more than a bath. When Centipedal/Nephrite is explaining her past to Steven, there was a light in the sky. A song that corrupted the gems. Not a bath. So, the song they had sung to heal Homeworld is powerful and loud enough.
It's because that's Rose's fountain, Hezu. So Rose's fountain already, like, had her power of healing in it, remember? And then you add the other diamonds to that water, and because it's all four of them, it's able to heal the gems. Because you need all four of them to do it. That is very established when Yellow and Blue and Steven try to bring Centipedal back. Like, as long as the three of them are touching her, she's normal, but as soon as they let go, she goes back to being corrupted. So they still need White to finalize that fix. So it does take all four diamonds to fix the corruption. Now, my question more is always, what did Yellow, Blue, and White expect to happen when they zapped the Earth? They didn't even know the, like, corruption happened. I think they expected just every gem to go inert when they did that, and maybe if they had Pink with them, that is how it would have worked. But because it was only the three of them, it seemed to have just corrupted the gems and turned them into mindless monsters instead. So, which is kind of interesting, because it's like, okay, what did they think was gonna happen? Like, would they just basically wipe the hard drives of every gem on the planet? Like, is that what that would have done?
Enough to reach out to Earth. Gems are now uncorrupted, however, they cannot reform, even when popped from their bubbles. Steven manages to convince the diamonds to come back with him to have the bubble.
She's still writing her fan fiction. Alright, let's, I'm skipping ahead, because this is all a moot point now. Okay, where are we now?
Changed. And I'm not exactly sure how to do that other than shattering her. But anyhow, White Diamond
maybe you're just not a good writer then.
Was arrogant for a millennia. Changing her mind should not have been so easy. Some people might want me to ridicule.
Well, I mean, think about it. She was in her own head and didn't communicate with anybody because her worldview was so fragile. And all it took was Steven not being Pink to completely shatter her worldview. Because in her mind, you know, Steven has to just be Pink playing a game and in disguise. There's no way Pink could have become a different existence and just doesn't exist anymore as herself. You know, she is just the gem in Steven now. And it's like, and Steven, of course, was struggling. It's more about Steven than White, of course. Steven was struggling with his identity. Like, he's been in his mother's shadow his entire life, and he doesn't even know if he is his own person, or if he's just a reincarnation of Rose. Like, that is unclear for most of the show. You know, so a lot of the wisdom early on is he is just Rose reincarnated basically into a human form. So the end of the show is Steven realizing he is his own person. Even when the gem itself is pulled out of him, it does not have the data for Pink or Rose anymore, and it's just him. So, and he refuses with the gem in an act of loving himself. So the climax is not about White, it's not about her lore, it's about Steven, the main character. You know? Yeah, and the two Stevens fusing, famously that scene was animated by James Baxter, who basically Sugar drew Rose for his granddaughter's birthday, and he said, "Okay, I'll just animate the climax to your story then, in return," which is awesome. So it's a beautiful scene. When I first saw that fucking shot, I deadass thought White was a 3D object because the rotation on her was so fucking smooth, but nope, that's just James Baxter.
Well, Pink Diamond and her arc as well, but frankly, I thought all of it was acceptable. I only wish we had more flashbacks with her, and with
I do too. One of my biggest criticisms of the show is Pearl just speedrunning Pink's backstory. Just being like, no, Sapphire, she actually didn't do all those things, was actually on our side, and the zoo wasn't her fault, and all this happened, and it's like, Pearl, I love you, but you are the most biased bitch in the world. Of course you're gonna downplay everything about Rose, but it's like, I feel like that could have been approached a little bit better, rather than just having Pearl just kind of hand-wave the backstory at us. And again, if you had fucking done less episodes with Lars and Sadie, maybe you would have had time to dedicate like a whole flashback episode to Pink or something. But no, we can't do that, I guess.
Worth mentioning, I think the Crooniverse forgot about the chest and lines.
As I keep saying, I think the Crooniverse did not give a shit about the gem lore as much as the fans did. I'm sorry, guys.
Main. That was open. We never saw what was inside. If it was Rose's, I think it's some...
It was Steven's jacket. That's my headcanon. The fucking jacket was in there.
And the audience has the right
I think they did that
know.
to troll us
Steven
anyway.
Universe is sometimes rushed, did things off screen, and frankly didn't always deliver compared to its hype. Cluster. And I have my own qualms about...
Girl, that was just a concept art in the art book that isn't 100% guaranteed something they were gonna do.
Steven Universe future,
concept art
which,
isn't always
ironically,
used.
I may explain in the future. But despite these issues with the original storyline, I still love the show very, very much.
Yes.
Garnet's wedding episode will always be my favorite. I'd like to thank Rebecca and her team for all their hard work, inspiring passion and raising the standard for animated media. Goodbye, Steven Universe. And thank you.
Okay, even I'm not this dramatic about the show. Come on.
Oh yeah, Patreon shout time, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Alright, Hezu. I'm sure you're very excited. Now, do we want to look at her Pink Diamond is not gone video? Because this is a theory I really disagree with. What do you guys think? It's only 20 minutes. So, we could go a little longer. We can look at... I've just mostly been working on this background and nothing else. Wait, how did I hide this whole panel up here? What did I do? So, yeah, let's just, let's watch that one, too. Lio jump scare, where? Oh, God! Why is Lio Convoy here on her Patreon list? Lio, you stay away from this innocent girl! What, was she 16 at the time? Is that why you were, like, trying to get her attention? Hezu's not that bad. You guys just want me to react to her.
So good because Jasper's my diamond, your diamond, Pink Diamond. Did give me goosebumps when I first watched the episode.
She is such a good voice actor. Like, I went to her IMDb after getting into Steven Universe. I'm like, huh, I wonder what else Jasper's voice actor has been in. I'm like, what the she was Daisy Fitzroy in BioShock Infinite? She was Ashley in Mass Effect? What? Like, her range is insane. And the best example of it is in Steven Universe. Did you know the episode Rosebuds in Future, you know, with the 3 rose quartzes? Kimberly Brooks voiced all 3 of them. I thought at least one of them was Michaela Dietz, but no. So she voices 3 characters who are supposed to sound alike but different, and keeps all of those voices consistent in one episode. That is fucking insane. She is so goddamn good. And like I said, she's a VA whose level I am never gonna be on. Oh yeah, she's a Hex girl. She's been in like goddamn everything. She was what's her butt in Voltron, the alien chick. She's done a ton of voice acting. I'll tell you though, her VA job as Daisy Fitzroy, she always gives me the vapors with that deep Georgia drawl. Anyway, I will be playing the BioShock games eventually.
At VarishWolf95 sent a super chat. Jasper was formed at the kindergarten beta.
Exactly. So the beta kindergarten was made specifically to make more quartzes to fight Rose's rebellion. So that is she was literally made to murder crystal gems.
At Sauciness sent a super chat. I can fix Jasper.
No, I can't. I do try to write her well, though.
At the _space frog sent a super chat. You saying gems are AI? Well, time to cancel SU/J.
Not AI per se. I do think the diamonds could have come to be naturally. Like, I had canon that the diamonds all kind of hatched from Homeworld in just some sort of cosmic event. Like, they came to be they weren't invented by some other civilization, is how I see the diamonds. But I do think the diamonds basically made gems in their own image as, you know, little servants for themselves. And now, in future, they have, in turn, started serving their creations instead of the other way around.
At Sauciness sent a super chat. As a kid, I had no problem with Jasper or Lapis. Was too down bad for them.
Fair enough.
At NeoKaiser0 sent a super chat. Talk tax. Jasper, I am the hype.
I am the hype! I'm telling you, you can take, like, almost any DBZ abridged Vegeta line and give it to Jasper, and it would work.
At Cyberonko sent a super chat. Asexual doesn't mean aromantic.
Well, that too, yeah, but the whole Peridot is asexual thing just kind of annoys me when people go too far with it and get, like,
At MissJasmine305 sent a super chat. Fusion is a connection that a / should be a choice, and Peridot chose not to fuse. I'd quiet has to be more than just that.
Yeah,
At NeoKaiser0 sent a super chat. Talk
more
tax.
drama than
Jasper
it needs.
and Peridot. You okay, Jasper? Yes. Just an aneurysm out of sheer stupidity. Wow, I didn't think you were that stupid, Jasper.
Are you okay, Jasper?
Yes, just an aneurysm out of sheer stupidity.
Didn't know you were that stupid.
Can't really do a good Peridot impression.
Ed Wogadora sent a super chat. Let asshole characters be assholes. Tired of people trying to make characters who are jerks or nasty.
Like, even if Jasper joined the good guys, she would still be an asshole.
Easy Rocker sent a super chat. Talk tax Uncle Grandpa, good morning.
Good morning? I don't know what Uncle Grandpa sounds like, really. I just hate how that show looks.
Stevens5542 sent a super chat. An even fusion of the same gems is looked down upon by some homeworlders. Remember Topaz in there wanting their relationship to be beyond a work one.
Oh yeah, Topaz acted like gems that say fuse too long get a little sentimental. Again, I do think a lot of the gem lore we got was just kind of made up on the spot by the writers. It kind of feels that way a lot of the time, but that is kind of interesting.
At the Master Clockwork sent a super chat. Steven's array of powers make no goddamn sense.
Well, I mean, neither do the other diamonds. They can just kind of pull powers out of their ass depending on their mental state and their mood, so I guess we just have to put up with that.
At MissJasmine305 sent a super chat. If they really wanted Lars of the Stars, they could have still included the off-colors in an episode and then bring them back after SU finished for Lars of the Stars. They didn't need the backdoor pilot.
Now imagine if they knew they were going to get the 20 episodes that became Future. They could have just maybe made it that. You know, I don't know. But then again, Lars would have to be left on homeworld until then or something to make it work. I don't know.
At Savage for Life for an 8328 sent a super chat. Steven Universe is neutral and here's why.
I mean, kind of. I mean, yeah.
Hikaru9624 sent a super chat. What's this? You criticizing something you like?
Yeah, the thing the internet thinks I'm incapable of doing because I don't actually watch my streams.
Master Clockwork sent a super chat. You can always tell who'd be a murder hobo in a D&D campaign.
I don't know exactly what that was a reference to, but yes.
At Plasmamu sent a super chat. 2 of my friends were mad when I said that there were no actual villains in Steven Universe and that it was banned in Guyana due to wedding episode.
Why would they get mad at you for the
Life
truth?
From 8328 sent a super chat. One detail I loved about that scene is that you can subtly hear Rose laughing with Steven. This is the first time she's hugged her son.
Oh, really? I don't think I've noticed that. I'll have to rewatch it and listen real close.
At the Master Clockwork sent a super chat. Imagine if Sailor Moon was mostly about the girls going to school, and we barely saw the whole intergalactic stuff.
That's Steven Universe for you.
At Miss Jasmine 305 sent a super chat. They'd have to get close to white space to shatter her impossible. They'd need 100% assurance breaking point would work on a diamond. They didn't.
Yeah, would it even work on a diamond? Who knows?
Coming after them, yeah, right.
Because Pink faked her shattering, so can you even shatter a diamond is a question, yeah. Alright, so we'll just watch her. I know she made one on Future. We might return to Hezu someday, since you guys, you've never heard of you never heard of Ghana? But anyway, or Guyana, yeah, so we'll just give it, maybe I'll put her on 1.25 or something. We'll just, we'll have a little extra thing at the end here. So, because we're having fun, guys. It's been a while since we've actually just had fun on stream and not been talking about drama crap. So, oh, because Stutter, she's gone!
She's gone!
I'm very proud in my very first, like, big Steven Universe video about Lily Orchard, where I put this footage over me screaming, "That's the point of the ending!" Anyway, I'm gonna speed it up now.
No, she's not!
Yes, she is!
Hello, everyone. Hezu here.
Definitely
and
not gonna agree with this one.
Before you take your pitchforks to the comment section, please listen to what I have to say.
I'm gonna hold it next to me.
I got a good argument here.
Okay.
With the new episodes of Steven Universe being released this month, I figured I'd make this video while the hype is going around. What I'm about to say is not my word against the Crooniverts. It's their actions against their own. Let me explain. Obvious Steven Universe and Steven Universe the movie spoilers.
I just kind of wrote this show slapdash.
This video is not for you. Now, I've explained this to many people before, but I thought transforming it into video format would make it easier to understand where I'm coming from. So, Pink Diamond, aka...
I don't know, sweetie, because your argumentation in your videos isn't very good to begin with.
Rose Quartz is not gone. She is still part of Steven's gem.
She's lying,
and
obviously.
Here's my proof. Exhibit A. Gems have layers. In a single pale rose, we witness a plethora of pearls within our pearl's gem. Alternate characterizations, depictions, and
yes! It's more like her memories. And, I mean, they kind of just did it this way, because how else were they gonna reveal it, really? They can't just do straight-up flashbacks that Steven doesn't witness, or doesn't have in his memory. Like, even when we've had flashbacks, it's like Greg telling him the story of something that happened in the past. So with the Steven-only perspective, and with Pink, I mean, with Pearl not being able to say anything about Pink to explain why she hasn't this entire time, this was kind of the only way they could do it, you know? And it's interesting, it's arty, it's cool. I mean, going into a character's mind or dreams as a trope to gain information or insight, you know, it's not new. But I don't think this is supposed to be lore about gems. This was their way to make the big reveal and make it interesting and also keep the Steven-only perspective. So, Yeah, and somebody else put it's because Pearl is compartmentalizing. That's the funniest line in the show to me is this Pearl going, "I'm very good at compartmentalizing everything," as if it's something to be proud of. Oh god. And maybe it's just a Pearl thing, because only Pearls seem to have like the massive storage too that they have, you know. So, who knows, but, I don't think this is, like, supposed to be like, oh my god, this is a new lore drop, because the show has never been about lore. It just hasn't, you know? I understand the instinct, and I understand there's a lot of cool concepts here you can play with, but, like I keep saying, I don't think the Crewniverse gave a shit about the gem lore as much as the fans did. And as Takahata 101 once said, never care about anything more than the creator.
Manifestations of who she was in her past.
Pearls are also organic, you're correct, and it does, looking at the reef, where pearls are made in future, it does seem that they are created like a real pearl is, so, which is kind of interesting. Because pearls aren't actually gemstones, they just kind of get lumped in with them because people use them for jewelry, but they're not gemstones, they're just, they're formed when a bunch of debris gets into an oyster or a clam or something, and they just kind of make them by accident. That's why they're so rare.
Assume this is the structure of all gemstones from seeing garnet and amethyst's reformation process as well.
Well, no, you can't, no, Hezu! That's not, that's them going through their previous forms, their previous physical forms.
We can assume this is the structure of all gemstones from seeing garnet and amethysts.
No, it's just after they've been rejuvenated in the movie, we see them go through all of their old forms before reaching their current one. I don't know why Pearl does that in that episode where she reforms, but she is very, like, particular about reforming, which is why she takes so long. But yeah, this is just showing forms they've had before. This isn't things inside of them. And, like, when we see the Pink Diamond Gem try to reform as Pink and Rose, we see this sort of light outline, but then it doesn't become anything because she's gone.
Reformation process as well.
Yeah, it's also just fan service. Because, I mean, look, right there in, we can see Amethyst's all, like, fucked up form from that one episode where she kept reforming too quickly. Like, it's a reference to a past episode, Hezu. This is really, again, you're treating everything like a lore drop in a show that was never about lore and world building. You know? Even though the world building's really cool, that was never the focus.
Pearl is able to transfer Steven further and further into her gem, inflicting an inception that allows him to reach her core origins and witness the secret she could tell no one.
Yeah, it's really
From this episode, we can infer a gem acts like a USB with many subfolders within it. Each folder contains data of the gem's memory and form at the time of its poofing. The Pearl
I guess you could kind of say that, because when they get rejuvenated, the data is still there, and you can bring back their full memory, so it's not like everything about them gets erased. But I think Rose basically wiped her hard drive to make room for Steven. You know, and yeah, there's a little bit of residual data left over, because he does get some of Pink's flashbacks in his dreams. And I think originally they were going to have Rose talk to him in his dreams on the show. That was an early idea, but then they decided to make it more ambiguous if she's there or not. And I don't think they had even decided until the end of the show if Rose was gonna still be there or not. It was still up in the air. It's apparently something the writers fought about. Not fought, but, you know, they debated each other whether or not they should have her come back. And I think ultimately it's stronger to not have her come back, because like I said before, kids with dead parents don't just magically get their dead parent back. And I think it would really undercut a lot of Steven's personal journey if they did bring her back. It's fun for fan fiction, it's fun for AUs, go nuts! But for the actual show, I think it would undercut a lot of the themes, you know?
First meet claims she is surface, and the other forms have to be put away.
Yeah, they were making up a lot of this shit on the spot, Hezu, come on.
And therefore, she is in charge. However, the original Pearl, deep in her subconscious, was able to interact and steal an object Surface Pearl had in her collection and use it to interact with the outside world. With
I think it was just abstract.
Let it be known that Pink Steven is not Pink Diamond.
Thank
Steven
God
is
you know
not
that.
his mother. He merely
Yes,
shares
good.
his gem with her.
Very good. He's not his mother.
And I need you to know.
I had to keep screaming that at Lily Orchard. He is not Rose. That was the entire point of the ending. He is not Rose. It was up in the air for a lot of the show whether he was his own person or was just Rose reincarnated, but he is not Rose.
That every moment you love being yourself. That's me. Loving you and loving being you.
We can infer that in Steven's case, Pink Steven is surface, and the rose quartz and pink diamond are put away. They are in the subconscious. But as we've seen with original Pearl, they can see everything Steven sees.
This is the other thing about gems not being hard lore and world building. Gems, the way gems are used in Steven Universe is often to facilitate theme and metaphor, right? So it's like all the gem stuff is depicted on more of an emotional, allegorical level. And gems, because they're not one-to-one with humans, they make a really good vehicle for allegory. Because a lot of people argue, right, is Pink Diamond Blue and Yellow's little sister, or are Blue and Yellow a couple mourning their child? And it's both, actually. I'm not saying they're literally sisters in the show, and they're literally a couple, but you can interpret them either way very easily because of the way the allegory around them is written. And because they're not one-to-one with a human family. You know? So a lot of stuff about gems and what they go through can be applied to a lot more, to many, many mundane situations. You take these fantastical things and you use them as allegory and metaphor and emotional resonance for much more mundane problems that children are likely to experience in their real lives. And that is really more the utility of them than, hey, the lore says that if these two gems fuse, they'll make this kind of gem, and all gems have other little selves inside them, like in this one episode. And it's like, they really weren't thinking about these things that way. At least it doesn't come across to me that way. It isn't supposed to be like, we're looking for lore answers and world building, because that really wasn't their focus. You know?
Sometimes I wonder if she can see me through your eyes. What would she think of me now?
Yeah, again, this was
whether or not
up
they
in
are
the
fully
air,
conscious
whether or
of the
not
situation and its weight is unclear,
or not.
since some of the pearls didn't seem very attuned to the present. However, it still doesn't change the fact
they
that
weren't
this
attuned to the
means
present
Pink
because it was her
Diamond /
memories.
Rose quartz can interact with Steven despite being put away. Pink showed him a vision of her deep memory, with Blue and Yellow Diamond talking down.
I wouldn't say, like, the Pink Diamond gem, like, was purposefully showing him this. He was in a space where Pink had been, like, thousands of years ago, and he was seeing one of her vague memories in his dreams. So, like, that doesn't mean the gem was purposely showing these things, but he was tapping into, like I said, like, the residual data left over in the gem from when Pink was alive.
Onto her. She shows that the key to learning the mystery behind Pink Diamond is Pearl. If Pink Diamond had not reached out to him, Steven may have never known.
I don't think this was a conscious thing on the gem's part, and also, because of the Steven-only perspective, this is about the only way they can do flashbacks. They can only do flashbacks if somebody is explaining something to Steven, or he's experiencing the flashback himself in some way, either through psychic abilities like this, or through, you know, going through Pearl's mind, you know, but they lock themselves into the Steven-only perspective, and it does hurt the show sometimes, but other times it makes them have to get really, really creative. And Single Pale Rose is a good example of them getting really, really creative with it.
She even reached out to him further as Stevani on the abandoned moon base.
No, bitch! The reason they did it this way, so you get the Pink Diamond flashback in Jungle Moon, right? But in Pink's place is Stevani, because Connie and Steven are fused to survive on the Jungle Moon they crash-landed on. And they go to sleep as a fusion, so their minds are all, you know, melded and mixed up together. So we have a Diamond flashback, but instead of it being Yellow and Pink, it's Priyanka, Connie's mom, and Stevani. Because if they had done this scene with actual Pink Diamond in it, voiced by Susan Egan, everyone would immediately realize that she's Rose. So they kind of had to do it this way. And again, this whole having voice actors voice all the same kind of gem, having the Steven-only perspective, it did force them to be creative with this, and it worked. Here it works, you know, this is one of the successes of the show. Other times, the Steven-only perspective hurts the show. Like, in order for us to see the Malachite fight, Steven had to possess a fucking watermelon. Because otherwise, everyone would be asking, well, why didn't they just form obsidian there? They had to keep Steven out of the fight, but in order for the audience to witness the fight, Steven had to be there, so to fix that, they stick him in a watermelon. Like, that was one of the choices. It's like, okay, you guys kind of wrote yourself into a corner on that one. You know? But other times, it forces them to get creative, and it comes out really good.
As Stevani on the abandoned moon base, where we first see her form reflected on shattered glass, and an entire dream sequence that parallels Connie's mother to Yellow Diamond.
Also, I have to say, what's her name? Mary McGlynn there did, like, a pitch-perfect impression of Patti LuPone. A lot of people think it's Patti LuPone doing the voice here. No! It's Priyanka's voice actor.
That parallels Connie's mother to Yellow Diamond. There's a possibility on Homeworld she continues to show him parallels to her past, how the diamonds have not changed even after all this time. She showed him how she suffered.
I mean, I guess you could interpret this as the gem showing him what he needs to know. I guess I'll give her that. It just isn't really presented that way in my mind, but I guess I can kind of see why she's coming to this conclusion here. So I'll give you that one, Hezu. There's nothing to say it isn't the gem deliberately showing him what he needs to see. I mean, there's really no reason to think that isn't the case, but it just doesn't feel like it is to me, but whatever. You know, it could go either way.
Giving Steven the opportunity to approach the situation with different
responses. We're watching another one of her videos, just real quick here at the end. Sorry. Well, again, here, they couldn't have Susan Egan voicing Pink, because then everyone would know that she's Rose immediately. You know? It's like when we first saw the opening to Future, and we saw the big kaiju Steven, and every single fan went, oh my god, it's Steven, it has his nose! You know, they know what their fans are like.
Steven! What? I'm not sorry.
However, it can be argued that at this point
oh my god, Steven's saying he's not sorry? I thought he was supposed to be a little pushover who forgives everybody. Oh my god.
It was actually White Diamond manipulating Steven's mind with these memories. But whether
White
or Pink were doing so, it doesn't change the fact
why would White do that? She doesn't even believe that Steven is his own person. He thinks he's Pink just being stubborn and playing a game, and you know, if she just pulls the gem out, Pink will come back and have to answer for this.
Diamond's memories are stored in the gem and still accessible, since a multitude of scenes we saw were shown when White
Again, it might only be a few leftover memories.
Her data is not gone. It is still accessible to both Steven and White Diamond. Unfortunately,
okay.
However,
I think you're stretching it on the White Diamond. If White Diamond could just root around in his brain and make him see things, she probably would have done that more.
Flashbacks involving his mother after the encounter with White. I don't think
that's the intent.
Which feels like a retcon considering the past two visions when White was not involved. It's also questionable.
Did you just say something was a retcon because it doesn't work the way you're assuming it did?
Flashbacks involving his mother after the encounter with White seem to cease, which feels like a retcon considering the past two visions when White was not involved.
We don't need them anymore, Hezu, because she's gone, and Steven is his own person, and that is the climax of the show, and this entire scene is about how Steven is his own person and is not his mother. That is the focus here. Why would we need flashbacks about Pink when the entire conclusion of this scene is that Steven is not Pink or Rose, he's Steven.
It's also questionable whether or not Steven's mom has a connection to the room as well.
I just want to know the truth.
The gem does. The gem does because it's attuned to her gem, and he has her gem. Hello? Duh!
For Pearl states the room should not have the power and capacity to the level Steven pushed of it. At first, Greg...
Well, yeah, that's why everything goes... This is a good early episode, actually. I don't like a lot of season 1, but this is a good one. Basically Steven backrooms himself. It's great. Even if you just watch this one scene. So, he's in Rose's room, he's, like, recreating her and things, and he thinks he's left the room, but really, the room has recreated the town and everyone he knows, and he starts to realize it's all wrong, and that he's still in the room, because, like, he's talking to his dad, and his dad just keeps giving, like, generic dad advice lines and not really listening to what he's saying. It's very spooky. Like, the show does do horror well when it does it, you know?
The only one that seemed real to Steven.
Kid-friendly
but over time,
horror,
his
but
sentences
still.
became repetitive. The illusions
Yeah, it's
created
funny.
in the
He
room
keeps just giving generic dad advice and air guitaring until everything starts falling apart. But I think Steven accidentally just overclocked the room, basically, and wasn't aware that he hadn't gotten out of it yet, and that's the point. It's just there to be a cool, creepy scene.
Always wished to do as Steven pleased. Even when the real Connie was in the room with Steven,
that's
the
a
fake
fun
Connie
one,
was
too.
acting weird, constantly asking Steven what to do, until he made it go haywire. So even with a real being to copy in its midst, the room still cannot complete this request perfectly.
Well, yeah.
Rose Quartz, however, stayed together the entire time. When Steven accuses the Rose Quartz illusion of making him to run...
This is, like, again, this isn't about lore. This is about Steven confronting his feelings toward his mom he hadn't really processed. Like, he's always told how great his mom is. He's always been given this perfect vision of her, but now this perfect, smooth image of her he's been told about his entire life is starting to fall apart for him. Because he's starting to realize she did some things that were quite... I think this is after Bismuth, isn't it? So by now, Steven has started to learn that his mother did some bad things in the past, and maybe wasn't entirely truthful with the people around her, and he's starting to have his vision of her shattered, you know? Pun not intended. This is a really good scene, too. This is the first time Steven really gets, like, angry toward the idea of Rose. And this is after he spends some time with the simulacrum of her, like, enjoying it. Like, at first he's overjoyed. Like, oh, I can use the room to create a simulacrum of Rose, how I see her, and spend time with her. And at first it's very therapeutic for him until he tries to take a selfie with the simulacrum, and when he turns a camera to the room and the simulacrum, it's just black. He can't capture any of it. It's just him there by himself, and he realizes, I'm not really talking to my mom. I'm just sitting here by myself with an illusion of her. And he's like, you're just what I want her to be. And then he starts, you know, pouring out his real feelings about the things she's done. And that is the purpose here. It isn't supposed to be like, oh, it's a sign that Rose still exists because the illusion didn't fall apart like other illusions in the room have done. But he didn't really, like, it's not like he had her there that long either, you know, with the fake Connie and the fake Greg from those 2 episodes. Like, it was like hours, you know? Here it was maybe like a half hour or something, you know? So, but again, you're missing the entire purpose of the scene. It isn't to hint that Rose still exists. It's to really pour out Steven's feelings. And he's, like, completely alone in this episode. It's called The Storm in the Room. Like, I forget where he is earlier in the episode, but he comes home, nobody's home, it's stormy out, it's kind of gloomy, he tries to make himself dinner, but he's getting too creeped out and too lonely, and then he goes in the room and recreates his mom, and at first it's great, and then he starts getting emotional, then he starts getting angry, you know, and this is the first time we've really seen Steven question the image of Rose he has been told since he was little, you know? I mean, he's like 14 now, but you gotta think, when Steven was younger, they're not gonna tell him, yeah, your mom was a war criminal. Your mom kind of did some fucked up things and treated people poorly sometimes. Nobody's gonna tell a kid with a dead parent that shit. You know, they're only gonna tell him the best of her. And he only knows her through other people's memories, so now learning more about her, he's kind of getting a little disillusioned. It's a very good episode, you know? The animation is beautiful.
From her problems, the illusion rejects him instead of agreeing with him like all the others did.
Great.
She tells him he knows that's not true and asks him if he thought what she said was a lie. It's extremely suspicious that Rose Quartz was
still
so
talking
in
to what he wants to hear.
And even interacted with Steven to a degree where none other has. It makes me wonder if she can connect to him through this.
This is another reason why Rose can't come back, because Steven has never known her, and he can only know her through the eyes of others and what they remember and what they choose to tell him. So they never fucking told him that she shattered Pink Diamond. They were gonna keep that a secret forever. You know? Until somebody else told him. So, you know, the gems were gonna hide all this shit from him. But he's growing up. He's growing up and developing his own viewpoint and separating himself from the shadow of his mother. This is all very important character work. It's not there to be like, oh, but what if Rose still exists? Ooh! You know, it's like, Storm in the Room is after they rescue Greg from the zoo. Okay, yeah, so it's like wicked after everything. Yeah, so by then he's known. I'm starting to forget episode orders. Maybe I gotta rewatch the show. But by then he's known that Rose, you know, did some bad shit, you know?
Oh, don't you realize we've been together this whole time?
It's almost like this was actually his mother. But considering
it wasn't. It was a simulacrum of her that he made, or the room made for him.
We can only theorize and never confirm this, but I felt it was still worth mentioning. Exhibit
You're just missing the point of the whole fucking
Before the
scene,
Steven
though.
Universe movie, I could safely nod that Pink was no longer accessible. She wasn't gone, per se, but she certainly couldn't come back because Steven was surface.
I mean, after the rejuvenation, you'd think she'd be totally gone.
However, the Crewniverse reversed this idea with the introduction of the Rejuvenator. The Rejuvenator changes everything. In the words of Bismuth,
well, yeah, the gem was rejuvenated and it was still Steven's. So the gem is Steven's and is him, you know, it isn't Rose anymore. That is the point. You know, and it was really just to take Steven's powers away for the movie, because the movie is a bit of a speed run of all the character development. It kind of a way to introduce new people to the show if they're watching the movie alone, which a lot of people did, actually. Because when the movie was coming out, Cartoon Network put out an absolutely abysmal trailer. It was one of those trailers cut to hide that a musical is a musical, and those are always awkward and terrible. And then Toonami came along and cut a way better trailer that didn't hide it's a musical, and got a lot of other people interested in it. You know? Marketing is a powerful tool! What is she gonna say?
this weapon was used as a factory reset. It wipes all top forms of data and restores the gem to its original.
I mean, yeah, basically, Sugar accidentally factory reset her phone and lost, like, years of communications and art and stuff and went, huh, what would happen if that happened to gems? You know, she just got inspired by, like, a real-life thing that happened to her.
Original purpose and form. When Steven's gem was pulled out of White Diamond, we are deliberately shown Pink Diamond and Rose Quartz. Therefore,
yeah, to put enough doubt in the audience, Hezu. Like I said, I was like, going into the final episode, I was 99% sure Rose would be gone forever. But the way that scene plays out, it gave me just enough doubt to, like, be on the edge of my seat, because it's like, but will they? Would they really? No. No, they wouldn't do that, because it would go against the themes, but maybe? You know, that was like, it's perfect that way. It's very well done that way, because even if you think there's no goddamn way they're bringing Rose back, it's just enough to make you question, you know? And that's what's good about it. It's not a lore hint, Hezu. It's there as misdirection on purpose.
Steven is hit by the Rejuvenator. His gem should have reverted back to Pink Diamond. If this
it didn't, though, because it's Steven now.
Would have been competent and just. I was absolutely convinced.
I mean, her plan's competent. I wouldn't call it just. The only reason Spinell is doing this is because she's super fucking pissed off. Like, basically, she's experienced the first heartbreak of her life. And she's taking it out on everyone else. That is her entire motivation. Her entire motivation is basically just vengeance. Like, Mom fucked up my life, so I'm gonna fuck up your life, Steven! I kind of see Steven and Spinel as estranged siblings, even though I don't necessarily see Pink as, like, a mom figure to her. So, this is kind of the way I see them in this movie. I drew a picture once of them slap fighting, and Steven saying, "At least you knew her!" And Spinel going, "At least she wanted you!"
She deliberately stole the Rejuvenator to reset Steven's gem so she could get revenge directly upon Pink Diamond. Instead, she states,
"You know, I came here to take my—"
No, she even says she doesn't want- That's what's different about Spinel, is she knows Steven is Steven. She isn't someone coming to get revenge because Rose wronged her or Pink wronged her. She knows he's Steven. And she's basically like, Pink is gone, I'm going to ruin everything she loved and left behind. That is why she's doing this. Like, she knows he's Steven. This is like the first time, like, an enemy gem has recognized him as Steven instead of Rose. That's kind of what's unique about the movie.
Take my anger out on a bunch of strangers.
Which didn't make any sense.
Why not? Again, she was made to be a cute little doll, basically, for Pink. Got left behind, was basically living in a state of denial for 6,000 years. Found out for good that Pink not only left her, not only forgot about her, but is now dead. And she can't even get revenge on her, so she's just pissed and just throwing her misdirected anger everywhere. You know? It is very, I mean, Spinel, I always say, like, my Spinel, I tend to draw her looking more like an adult, because it's hard for me not to see canon Spinel as a kid. That's why I give my Spinel, like, a waistline, to make her look more like a grown-up. So to me, Spinel is like, it's like she went right from, like, naive little kid to angry teenager. That is basically her experience. After 6,000 years of living in denial that Pink would come back for her and doesn't, and still likes her. So this is like the first time in her entire life she's felt, like, negative emotions, and this is what happens, you know? So, that's the way I see it anyway, and that's why she's so fun, because I mean, I believe in the art book they call her cute version best friend Spinel, and this version worst enemy Spinel. You know? So basically she just flipped on a dime because she's fucking pissed off at, like, the first negative thing that's ever happened to her. And that's kind of how gems are. They're one way until something changes them, you know?
Spinel knew how to operate the Rejuvenator and a massive poison drill. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, well, the drill was like, the fucking drill was a last-minute addition to the movie because Cartoon Network wanted a ticking clock. So they didn't even, like, fucking explain it. I like to think she just, like, chucked it really hard toward the earth and jumped on and rode it there.
To make her play dumb when it came to resetting Steven's gem was anticlimactic, anti-productive towards her goal, and frankly, a retconned plot hole.
Your human head won't stand a chance against my injector. Not after what I just did to your gem.
Well, she knew it was gonna turn off his powers, so he couldn't stop her destroying the planet. That was kind of her plan, you know?
Why would she reset their—
I mean, you can kind of tell the movie had some rewrites. It's like her saying she's heard the message over and over again, and it's like, well, you literally just heard it, you know? I think it would have been better, though the time skip in the movie wouldn't have been, like, 'cause they introduced Steven at the beginning of the movie as 16 now. I actually think it would have been better if she was stuck in the garden for 2 more years, hearing Steven's message repeat. That's what made her crazy. That might have been a little better. But that's okay.
Gems when she could just kill them. She was doing so with the drill anyway. These actions are what slowed the movie down and wasted everyone's time, re-witnessing all character development that was lovingly shown to us the past—
Well, yeah, again, it was there for people who are newcomers, and it also gave the B-team more of a focus on the movie. It let Bismuth, Lapis, and Peridot have more of a focus and actually do something. Isn't that good? Bismuth even gets a song!
decade, just with a small twist, all crammed into a 1-hour movie that felt more like a rushed Steven bomb. Unfortunately, the movie—
like, fucking... It's a 90-minute movie that is standard for children's movies. I don't know what you want.
He plays it off like Steven's gem was affected differently.
My human half kept me from poofing, but my gem half, it took the hit. She sent me back.
Well, of course he can't poof! His body isn't light projected by his gem like gems are. What, did you want him to explode into a gory mess? Like, he is physically human. There is some indication that, like, maybe his cells are, like, light, but he does have a human— he has bones and blood. Of course he can't fucking poof. He is also a diamond, is a good point. But yeah, it's like, of course you won't fucking poof. Do you want this to be Steven Universe gone wrong? Like, what are you talking about?
My gem half, it took the hit. She sent me back. It's like I'm a kid again. I can barely control my powers.
He states his gem was reverted back to when he was 14 and just started to use his powers. Yet, he looks sick and dying, like he did when he and his gem were unfused.
Well,
sure,
because he doesn't have his fucking healing powers, Hezu. So, of course, he's actually feeling like— and he, like, the movie takes place over, like, a day and a night. He hasn't slept. He doesn't have his healing powers. He's fucking exhausted. Like, the whole movie is Steven really needs a nap. I mean, he does still need to sleep. So, his human, like, his normal human biological functions are impacting him, and he doesn't have his healing factor. So, yeah, he's gonna be a bit of a mess. But he isn't like— he doesn't look like he's, like, fucking dying of, like, anemia like he did in the last episode of the show.
And Steven exhausted himself by using too much of his powers, but to see him with those bags under his eyes brings up my suspicions. To further prove this—
he hasn't slept for, like, 30 hours in the movie! Of course he's fucking exhausted!
Point. When Pink Steven forms, it's shown that the gem retains the data forms of both Pink Diamond and Rose Quartz. If the Crooniverse wanted to reiterate that she was truly gone, they should not have shown those forms. It should have just immediately reverted to Steven to show Pink—
those are shapes that the gem has had before, and it was trying to load them, and it couldn't, because the data isn't there anymore. You know? Also, again, the point of that is to cast just enough doubt about Rose still being alive or not. You know? Because again, I was 99% sure they wouldn't bring Rose back because it wouldn't be good thematically. But that scene made me kind of have enough doubt to, like, be, like, invested and be like, oh shit, maybe— are they? Would they? Ooh, you know? So it was enough to, like, cause doubt in your mind. It's just good writing. It's misdirection.
Diamond was completely deleted. Only then would there truly be no trace of her, and this video would not have existed.
Well, again, if she like basically wiped the hard drive that is her gem when she gave birth to Steven, to basically make it his gem, yeah, there might be bits of leftover data from Pink Diamond, sure. But that doesn't mean, like, her whole being is still there.
Meaning why having his gem revert to Pink Diamond was a better idea, let's dive into what the movie says happened instead. Spinel strikes Steven, meaning his gem has now reverted to its first form, but it's not Pink Diamond or Rose Quartz. It's shown it's indeed Pink Steven.
Because he isn't Pink Diamond or Rose Quartz, that's why, Hezu. Why, after having the finale of the show be that Steven isn't Rose, and Steven is himself, and has always been himself, and learns to love himself, why would you immediately undercut all of that in the follow-up movie? Why would you do that? It was just to take away his powers so he couldn't solve the problem immediately. It's like how they had to send Connie to space camp Because otherwise she would have just solved the problem in 10 minutes because she's Connie. Just get her out of the movie.
Steven's still in charge of the gem because Steven was able to fuse with Greg. Had Pink been in charge, this couldn't have happened. It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, well, yeah, he can fuse with humans because he's half human. That's just, like, it doesn't need hard lore logic, it's just, I mean, it just makes sense from a vibes perspective, so that's, I mean, Steven Universe is vibes, so it's fine.
Steven should not have been able to fuse with Greg.
Also, it was fucking fan service to have a Greg and Steven fusion because people wanted to see it. And I cracked up when it happened because I was like, of course, the fusion these two would make is an over-the-top fucking rock star. Of fucking course.
So Pink Steven is
They're such
surface,
dorks.
but it's been reverted to before he could use his powers very well. So some could argue the Rejuvenator, with every slash, de-aged Pink Steven about a year, taking 4 or 5 years away. However,
I don't think it's supposed to be that deep, honey.
Its very first form, not every year. Let it be known that the first time Steven's gem glowed, when he unknowingly called upon his power.
Oh my god, that's just not the point of the movie! It's almost like it's not hard lore, it's on an emotional level, Hezu. That's what this whole show is written like. It's written emotions first.
Was when he was a baby. Pink Steven grew with Steven.
I mean, as much as I wish this show had more lore and world building, I've accepted that it doesn't.
When he was that of an infant, which, considering this, would have had a far more profound effect on Steven than simply, he can't use his powers very well. That's just not how the Rejuvenator works for a gem. It's simply too confusing with how they set it up.
Well, he is half gem. He's not a full
to
gem.
Simply have Pink Diamond come back for the sake of her own character development. We could see her face Spinel herself, save her son,
No, that would be corny as fucking shit. I've seen this copy before. No, again, this is fine to explore in fanfiction and AUs and shit. That's fine if that's what you want to explore. But this, again, it would have completely undercut the ending of the fucking show if you did this. And why would you do that? The movie is about Steven. Just like the whole fucking show is about Steven. If you don't like that, make an AU like I did, where I took the POV out of Steven's grubby little hands, gave him a juice box, and set him down off screen so I could focus on the fucking space lesbians.
her friends and the Earth in the process. And none of them would even have to know. Pink could be brought back without causing problems to the story or the character development.
I just explained every way it would.
Without his gem, Pink, after looking around, would remember the Earth and revert to Rose Quartz, and upon seeing her son, would finally give up.
So you just really like this corny-ass comic, which is cool as an idea, but not for the actual movie.
For Steven to be whole again, for him to live again.
I hate when people draw Steven all
a much
bishy
larger and
and less
climactic ending
chubby.
to the movie, one that would make things far more interesting. With all of this in mind, I'd like to take
I
you back
love
to
the way
Crystal Gem's
Takafumi
personal
Hori
theories
draws
back
Steven
in
as just
Free
like
Gems
this
and a Baby.
pudgy little lump.
Each one of them had a theory. Rose Quartz had shapeshifted into a baby, Steven is a fusion, and Pink Diamond is trapped. All
I mean, yeah, because this is how gems understand things. It's like how Yellow and Blue just immediately dismissed the idea that he's not pink. They couldn't wrap their heads around the idea that Steven isn't pink because, well, that's Pink Diamond's gem, so you gotta be Pink Diamond. What else could you possibly be? A gem is a gem, and they're the one thing that they are. This is how gems think. And why wouldn't they? You know? But again, they're aliens! They don't think like humans! That's what makes them interesting! You know? I always hate when people want to make gems more mundane and boring, too. It's like, the humor and what's interesting about them is that they're not human, you know? And you can have a lot of fun with that.
All three are correct. Pink Diamond is not gone.
They're not.
With what the Crewniverse set up, especially in the movie, it just doesn't make sense.
I mean, the gems were all confused themselves after Steven was born. They're like, okay, this is what Rose wanted to do, but like, okay, let's be real. Like, they saw the powers come out, they freaked out and kidnapped him, and they're trying to figure this out. It's like, okay, well, it's Pink's gem, and the gem or it's Rose's gem, and the gem has to be Rose. It's just in this baby. They didn't get it at first. Because this was unprecedented. And I'm pretty sure the only reason Rose was able to do this, have a human baby and put her and transfer her gem to the baby, is because she's a diamond. I don't think any other gem would have the power to do this, you know? So I also hate when people, like, take that concept and decide, like, this all-female race of aliens that doesn't reproduce sexually would all suddenly just be so eager to get pregnant and die to have babies. It's like, could we not? Pretty sure Rose is the only one who could have pulled it off, especially since her powers, unlike the other diamonds, seem to interact with organic matter a lot.
Actions against their own words. Now, despite my beliefs, despite these suspicious errors and plot holes in the story that I have pointed out...
Yes, Spinell's reaction to the video. What the fuck is this slander she's saying about me?
So insistent about it. I can understand where they are coming from, however. If Pink Diamond came back, Steven's arc about being his own person would not have come to fruition. If Pink Diamond came back, all Crystal Gem character development would revert back to what it was, forcing them to either A, all become dependent.
Exactly, Hezu. It would undercut every single theme in the show if you brought her back, which is why they didn't. Hello?
On her again, or B, cause massive drama and distrust in the group, making it feel as though it'd be better if she never...
Yeah, so, like, some gems are bisexual, like Rose is, Amethyst is, but I think most of them would just be like, you know, again, they come from, like, an all-female species. What the fuck interest would they have in men, really?
Came back at all. If Pink Diamond came back, the Diamond...
I always joke Pink started the rebellion because she just really wanted to fuck the local wildlife, meaning humans.
Perchance go back to their evil, manipulative ways. They wouldn't give a damn about Steven or his precious planet Earth.
Would they go back to their ways, though, if Pink... I don't know, I think at this point, if Pink came back, the Diamonds wouldn't immediately revert and just start abusing her again. But that is an interesting thing you notice. And it's subtle, and I wish they had done it a little more. But, like, you want this Spinell to be a sticker? Well, maybe I'll collect other Spinell poses from this run of the comic and make a sticker sheet if you guys really want. I can make any of my art into stickers and things, so just ask if you want something. But, what was I saying? Yeah. So when Yellow and Blue are first interacting with Steven after the wedding and after the big fight, when they realize he has Pink Diamond's gem, they immediately start being hypercritical and scapegoating him because they think he's Pink. So it's amazing that they're so relieved to have Pink back and so relieved that she's seemingly alive, but then they immediately fall back into their old habits. Like, they see the corrupted gems, and Yellow is immediately like, "Ah, Pink, look what you made us do!" You know, and it gives you an insight into how they treated her. And, you know, what every day was like for Pink. And again, it's really subtle, and I wish they had done it more. But you do notice that. Like, it's immediately like, okay, well, oh, Pink, we're so happy you're alive. Everything is your fault. You know? That's basically what they're acting like.
Other TV series and comics have done when it came to resurrecting characters just for the hell of it. Her death would be
You're really
meaningless.
comparing this to the MCU.
Some fans like the idea of a show that truly finalizes a character's existence. There are no takebacks with death.
Rose?
Normally, I'd agree with this,
See,
but...
and that's the thing, too. Rose, as both Rose and Pink, basically haunting the narrative, but being unknowable, is basically the ephemeral nature of her character. She is an immortal space god who chose to be finite. And you know, having her components go to the next generation of life as life on Earth does. So Rose being this person we only know through other people, we only know in flashbacks, we only know by reputation, who just haunts the narrative, it fits her character. You know, she is this ephemeral thing that had such an impact, more than she even realized, you know? And that can't be taken back.
And Lion were takebacks, and gems are immortal. So I find it surprising that some people don't allow me to theorize of Pink Diamond's conscious, even simply existing within the deep enthralled.
I mean, gems have a lot of fucking plot armor. It's hard to kill one of them. Even shattering isn't total death. Even rejuvenation isn't total death. You know, you'd have to, like, literally grind a gem up into dust to kill them, I think. And even then, who knows? Yellow might be able to fix them. But with Rose, it's very unique. She deliberately erased herself.
Steven's gem. Pink Diamond.
And again, I'm not a Rose was suicidal person. I'm a Rose became so enamored with mortal life she wanted to be part of it person.
Despite my headcanon of her not being gone, simply won't come back to the show because of these reasons. Now, I respect and love the Crewniverse for what they do, and I understand all these reasons. But as mentioned, the movie was a massive missed opportunity. The fandom's opinion.
No, we didn't need Pink Diamond in the movie.
As the enemy. Some people even consider her the true villain of the series. This was the only moment.
Well, there are no villains, but yeah, Pink coming back would undercut all of Spinel's, like, emotions as well. Like, the person who wronged her is gone. She can't even confront Pink, so she just misdirects her anger to Steven and just wants to destroy everything Pink loved.
They could
because Pink didn't love her.
It's just Steven and Spinel up there. And upon being separated from his gem and so...
And again, I'm not seeing Spinel as, like, the child of Pink. I'm not even seeing it as, like, an ex-lover type thing. She was made for Pink. She was made for the singular purpose of entertaining Pink and making her happy. And Pink eventually abandoned her and forgot about her. And, you know, to Pink, it was just the little friend presumably Yellow and Blue made for her as a compromise after she lost Pink Pearl. But to Spinel, Pink was her entire world and her entire purpose. You know? And she couldn't accept that she'd been abandoned until she had undeniable evidence in front of her. And then she just went on this emotional doom spiral. It's like all the people that were like, oh, I don't like how Spinel was in Future. You know, I wanted her to be more like she was in the movie. I'm like, you mean when she was having a fucking mental breakdown? That's what you want her to be like all the time? Like, again, she just had, like, the first major heartbreak of her entire life. After standing still for 6,000 years with the delusional hope that Pink hadn't abandoned her. Until she had to accept that she did.
And tired. Steven could be delirious. He could just pass out or think it was all a dream. He wouldn't lose his character development. This was an opportunity to set in stone that
He didn't lose his character development. He just lost his fucking powers.
A way to grow up. This was a way to redeem
her
character.
You really like this cheesy-ass fucking comic. I mean, again, it's a neat idea, but not for the actual movie.
Giving up her form for Steven. Because it's the only good thing she had done in her own eyes. Disappear. So, needless to say, the movie was disappointing. And
fuck you!
Pink Diamond is not...
The Steven Universe movie is basically why I'm here right now. It's what got me drawing a lot again, got me doing my AU, and then me reacting to Lily Orchard's fucking videos. Basically landed me a YouTube career. That is my origin story!
Gone.
You will put respect on its name, Hezu!
Put away.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not actually
angry.
angry.
The Crewniverse denies me. The way they wrote the story makes me interpret it this way.
No, I do agree with her there, where Rose herself may have had that perspective on herself. That the best thing she could have done for everyone is to go away and not exist anymore. Which, again, I don't particularly believe in Rose was suicidal, but some people do interpret it that way because of that. But again, I feel like, because the tragedy of Rose is she feels like she thinks she never changed. In her mind, she is still Pink Diamond. She is still that little brat, you know? So, that's why she says it's good that Greg doesn't know her, you know? And she's always seen being Rose as kind of a farce. So, yeah, so to Rose, she thinks she never changed. And the tragedy is she changed a lot, you know? She became a completely different person. She became who she wanted to be, but she had too much self-loathing to really see that.
And has seen the error of her ways through Steven's eyes. I like to think she grew up with him in a way, that he inspired her. I like to know that. I like confirmation that truly she made him so he could be him.
You'll never have that confirmation because Steven will never have that confirmation. Steven will never truly know what his mother was thinking. And that's the journey we go on him with. With him on, rather. Like, Steven can never truly know his mom. He can never truly know what she was thinking. He'll never get just her perspective. And that's something he has to live with. And that's what shapes him as the person he is. You know? So that's precisely why she can't come back.
She wanted a child because it was the biggest life-changing decision she could ever make.
Well, she wanted to be human. And this was about the only way she could be, is becoming part of a human. And giving up herself to new life. Something a gem can't normally do.
She made Steven so she could love him from the inside, like she had told him. Just thinking of this, it makes Steven Universe.
I mean, she perhaps envisioned it that way, but I mean, did Rose know she was going to completely erase herself is another question, too. Did she know precisely what she was doing? We don't know. We'll never know. No one will ever know. That's kind of the point of Rose. Again, she's this ephemeral character that haunts the narrative, both as Rose and Pink, and we'll just never truly know her because Steven will never truly know her.
Magical and enjoyable for me. To see people demonize Pink Diamond when the real demons are sitting right there.
Oh, now they're demons? I thought you liked the diamonds!
Something I really can't stay silent about.
Maybe you should've, but it's
Pink
okay.
Diamond
It's okay,
not
Hezu. It's
gone.
okay.
But even
I'm
if the show
mad.
says so,
I'm just disappointed.
I don't think it's ruined anything for me. I'm very excited and intrigued to see where these new episodes will take us, especially with Jasper's return. But we'll see. Well,
made her my favorite character. One of them. Spinell's still top favorite.
I don't know how much more will be revealed of Pink Diamond or Rose Quartz. And
Pearl was my favorite, then Spinell came along, and Spinell was my favorite, and then Future happened, and I started to really like Jasper, and Pearl slipped down to 3rd place, which I'm sure she would be very angry about. Not my Pearl, not my bitter-ass villain Pearl, the actual character.
Future, but
she's a very sore loser.
Perhaps I'll need to update this video later if anything juicy happens. But for now, this video is now concluded.
Hooray! Is Lio Convoy still on your patron list?
I'd rather be.
Oh, why are you depressed and singing? Okay,
over to the microphone, right?
Okay. I think we're done. Okay, I think we're done.
I'd Savage for Life for an 8328 sent a super chat. Random, but would you ever react to a Mr. Intervid?
Maybe. I don't know. We'd have to find a good one, I guess. I haven't watched him in a long time.
At the Master Clockwork sent a super chat. The episode Steven takes Connie into Rose's room was a bit of a mindfuck as well.
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a good one too. Like, it has some mindfucky stuff, but I love that the whole conflict of that episode was that Steven liked the corny-ass ending of the book they were both reading. I feel Connie in that episode. She's like pacing around talking about the betrayal of the themes and you know, what an ass pull the ending was, and Steven's just sitting there kind of sheepish because he actually liked it. And he was too afraid to admit it to her because he was afraid she was gonna look down on him for it, and she's like, "Oh, Steven, you love schmaltz, I know that." And it's not a big deal, but Steven tends to catastrophize things, is a lot of where his humor comes from.
Ed CoolKid7550 sent a super chat. Came back to see Hezu is still misunderstanding SU.
Yeah, but again, she's not. The thing with Hezu is she's not doing this maliciously. She's not just like making up shit about children's cartoons for some weird online ideological bullshit. She's not like she's just kind of bad at this. That's all, you know? Which is why I'm not as mean to her as other people. I don't want to be mean to her. I don't even hate her. I just feel like she could be, like, for a media reviewer, she's just kind of bad at it. Like, her Encanto one was driving me absolutely fucking crazy, and everyone was laughing at me like, Sai is trying so hard to be polite right now.
At Miss Jasmine 305 sent a super chat. I think she just wanted a different movie entirely.
Yeah, well, interpret the movie we got instead of the one you wanted, you know? Like,
Nerd9036 sent a super chat. I'm glad you got to Hezu, that was my request.
Ah, good, good. Yeah, we need more fun, light stuff
At
this
the
week.
Master Clockwork sent a super chat. Nah, I love Future Spinel. She's a goofy whackball cartoon, but still has her frazzled look. Instead of the overly cute naive child.
Well, she also drops some really dark jokes, if you notice. It's like when Steven's like, Spinel, what's wrong with you? She's like, oh, you know, the usual. And when White kind of shoos her out of the room to talk to Steven, she's like, okay, but don't take too long. Like, the dark jokes she drops kind of sneak up on you, and that's exactly what I wanted to see out of her, being happy and goofy, but also still having that dark streak to her.
At Miss Jasmine 305 sent a super chat. I think she just needs to accept that sometimes characters die and don't come back.
Yeah, like, again, it's cool for fan fiction, but not the actual show. It would just undercut the themes too much, as I kept saying, you know? But, yeah, honestly, watch Steven Universe Future. It gets a bad rep, but I like it. And again, you gotta keep in mind, they had 20 more episodes just dumped in their lap after Cartoon Network forced them to end the original run of the show early. Which has got to be completely fucking frustrating. But it is good, and you know what? The characters are drawn more consistently in Future. The heights are actually pretty fucking consistent. I gotta give them that in the movie, too. It has some really funny episodes, Future, and some really interesting ones as well. And I think overall Future is like just really solid. I don't know, I like it. A lot of people are down on it. They wanted more gem lore, they wanted more world building, but again, it focused on Steven. And it's kind of like, it does take this interesting angle of, okay, our 16-year-old adventure hero has saved the world! Now what? You know, like Steven has no idea how to define himself if he's not, like, battling space aliens and not trying to figure out if he's his mom or not. Now that he knows that he is him, well, who the fuck is he? That's kind of his struggle in Future, because again, he's a 16-year-old that saved the entire galaxy. Where the fuck do you go from there? Steven, he's still the goofy kid he was. I do prefer 16-year-old Steven. He still has that goofy streak to him. I love when, he does go for, like, a doctor's checkup with Priyanka, because he's, like, never been to the fucking doctor before. He writes as his former job, Earth Ambassador, on his sign-in sheet. And when he's talking about how he wants to marry Connie, he calls himself... what is it? Steven Quartz, Cutie Pie, DeMeo, Diamond, Universe. He just keeps adding middle names. Fucking Steven, man. He's great. So yeah, he's still, like, even though he's a little more mature and a little more sassy, he's still the little dum-dum boy he always was. Which is great. I do like 16-year-old sassy Steven. The other, do I still have the clip up? The other funny part here is the... oh, wait, I don't think it's in this clip, but when he first is talking to Jasper, she's saying it took forever to pull those puny green earthlings out of the ground, and he's looking at her like, you mean grass? I don't know their names! The look he gives her is just like, wow, you used to scare the shit out of me, but you're kind of a dumbass, aren't you? But yeah, 16-year-old Steven is sassy as fuck, and I love him for that. Like, he's a lot less naive by that point. And he talks back more. It's like how he gives the diamonds a face in the movie, like he's just so sick of their shit. You know, I love it, I love it. It's good stuff. Okay, so, I think that's about it. I think we had fun today. I will, you'll definitely... oh, got one more super.
2461 sent a super chat. Can I get a pink diamonds dead? That's a fact. In Mustang's voice.
Which Mustang are we talking about? Is that FMA or something else? Pink Diamond's dead. That's a fact. I don't know what voice I'm doing, but that's what I imagine you want. Steven's Gohan. He is a little Gohan. He is a little Gohan-y. So you guys should still be redirected to Celtic Phoenix, I think, on this VOD. So that should kip you over to him. They're doing something tonight, I think. they start at 6, maybe? So, oh, it is FMA. I don't know if I could do Mustangs. I mean, it's just, what's his face? Anyway, yes. So thank you for your super chats, guys. Again, if you got a gifted sub today, you can connect your Discord and your YouTube accounts and join the Discord. We talk about a lot of nerdy stuff just like this in there. And Travis Willingham, yeah, that's the English Mustang voice. I like him. And, what else was I gonna say? I will have you guys vote for the Friday stream, too, though I have a feeling what's gonna win. But I will put it out there. I unfortunately had to cancel, voting for more drama. But we're not doing drama again for a while, unless something completely outrageous happens. So anyway, hopefully I'll see you guys on a Friday, and I will talk to you later.